to the pass at center ice and made no mistake as he broke in alone. That goal proved to be the winner in Canada's 4-2 triumph, the first time since the national team program was introduced that Canada has beaten the Czechs. Canada was not nearly as sharp in Game 3 against Finland. Team Canada trailed 2-1 after 20 minutes, but got back on even terms early in the second on a blast by Swift Current Bronco Products' Joe Sakic. However, the Finns, much more aggressive and controlling play most of the game, again took the lead a short time later as Pekko Turkinen finished off a 2-on-1 break. And for the Finnish players and a delegation of Finnish supporters in the stands, they thought this might be the start of a victory celebration. But Team Canada began to play a more physical style, and a big hit by Adam Graves at the Finnish blue line forced a turnover and enabled Sheldon Kennedy to walk in alone to tie the score at 3. And it was time for Canadian supporters to wave their flag. And late in the period, Canada took the lead for the first time on Dan Curry's goal. Greg Hoggood's shot from the point was blocked, but Curry at the side of the net jammed in the rebound. And Canada led 4-3 after 40 minutes. But early in the third, the Finns tied it with Teppo Numminen, a draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets, beating goalie Jimmy Waite with a shot from the top of the circle. But that's the way it ended, Canada and Finland in a 4-all tie. Among the off-ice activities, and one that Canadian hockey teams traveling in the Soviet Union eagerly look forward to, is a visit to the Canadian Embassy. Yesterday, Ambassador Vernon G. Turner entertained the players, management, and coaches of Team Canada and members of the media at a reception and dinner. For the guests, a bit of an insight into the embassy operation in Moscow, and perhaps most importantly for those away from home at this time of year, a Canadian-style meal. The executive producer of CBC television hockey coverage in Moscow, Bob Moyer, along with director Joan Mead, discussed the upcoming games, and then following dinner, team captain Thuran Fleury of the Moose Jaw Warriors presented an autographed hockey stick to Ambassador Turner.
I'm very pleased to have these mementos, and of course this occasion is not the beginning nor the end. It's just an interval in your excellent hockey series. And when Canada plays the Soviet Union, that is the ultimate moment in hockey. It was certainly true in the Canada Cup. It was true in the Izvestia tournament, and it's increasingly true in this current tournament.
And members of the embassy staff will be in attendance at today's game against the United States. This is a special presentation of CBC Television Sports. The World Junior Hockey Championships. From the capital of the Soviet Union, Moscow. Brought to you by ESSA retailers and agents across Canada. And by Labatt, proud to bring the parents of Canadian Olympic athletes together. Today, Game 2 of our coverage, Canada against the United States. In the Canadian dressing room, players concentrating on the task at hand. This game and a victory could mean a silver medal for the Canadian team. Of course, it could also be the springboard to an eventual gold that could come with a win today and another triumph tomorrow over the Soviet Union. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Whitman along with Sherry Basson. Sherry, you've experienced this before. You've been in this situation as a general manager of the Canadian team on 2 occasions. What thoughts are going through the players' minds right now?
Well, the players got to understand that they've been thinking about the Russians too much. They think about them before they come to the tournament. They think about them. You don't worry about them until you have to play them. You can be sure of one thing, that they better get something straight on, is that the Americans emotionally will play their best game of the tournament. They want to beat the Canadians like we want to beat the Soviets. So consequently, they better be ready today mentally, because forget about the Soviets if they don't win today. It's really all over, basically.
In looking back at the game against Finland, the 4-4 tie, was it a bit of a letdown for the Canadian team after coming off that 4-2 triumph over Czechoslovakia?
Yeah, really, you know, it's one of those things that they got to think about and say, hey, we didn't play very well, but we still won. That's very, very important when those kind of things happen, because they didn't play well. They really only played about 4.5 minutes and still got out of there with a tie. There's a couple of reasons for that this year. Because of disqualification, they have to start with the tough teams, have to meet 5 of them right off the bat. It was a big win for them to beat Czechoslovakia. As you pointed out, the first time in the history of the tournament, they needed that win to stay in contention. And I think then they just relaxed, and they have to play so many games in such a short time, it's tough to keep that emotional peak.
Well, in looking ahead, the Canadian team plays the Soviet Union tomorrow, and we'll have live coverage of that game. And then the Canadian team winds up against West Germany and Poland. And as Sherry pointed out, the Canadian team has the 2 weakest teams in the tournament for the final 2 games because of the disqualification a year ago. But Sherry, the big fear is that the Canadian team might be looking beyond this game today against the United States to the Soviet Union.
Without question, they must be emotionally ready. And I mean, you can be sure those American kids will be pumped. You can watch them as they approach the ice surface right now. As we said earlier, they could just about lose every game in the tournament, beat the Canucks, and feel it was a successful tournament.
The American team coming off a 7-3 setback to the Soviet Union. Canada coming off a 4-all tie against Finland. And our coverage of this Canada-United States game at the World Junior Championship in Moscow will continue after this message.
Did you ever have to make up your mind to pick up on one and leave the other behind? It's not often easy and not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? Did you ever have to finally decide to say yes to one that the other one dies?
Double Blue, Blue and Blue Light. 2 great beers, 1 tough decision.
Did you ever have to finally decide?
A unique blend of news, information, and entertainment. Midday with Valerie Pringle, Peter Downey, and Sheldon Turcotte. Today, Scott's on the street, caught in the strange world of pushers and dealers. Now he's on the run, and his brother Brett has only one choice: to keep the pushers off his trail.
It's my problem, all right? Just forget it.
Brothers by Choice, a movie special, Sunday night.
Traditionally, at international hockey competition, prior to the start of a game, teams line up at their respective blue lines and exchange pennants. The team captains will do just that in this game between Canada and the United States. The Canadian team undefeated so far with a tie against Finland. The referee today, Gubravatov of the Soviet Union, is the referee. Lucien Barton of Poland is one of the linesmen, and Roman Bukala of Czechoslovakia is the other. The United States with 2 losses and just 1 win, that triumph over West Germany. The United States suffering a surprising 4-3 setback in the opening game of the tournament to Poland. Only the 2nd win in the history of World Junior competition for the Polish team. But this United States team, Sherry, has been improving steadily since that opening game, and we should point out that in that opening game, the Americans had a wide edge in territorial play and a big edge in shots on goal. As a matter of fact, in all 3 games the Americans have played, the opposition goaltender has been chosen the outstanding player of the game.
Yeah, really, you know, that loss to Poland is one of those things that happen in a competition and that you kind of hope never happens to you. They had such territorial play, over 60 shots, if I remember correctly, Don. And the Polish goalie, the team literally hung on for the last 5 minutes. But when you look at the standings, they don't talk about that. They talk about the loss, and the Poles are excited about it, because it was only their 2nd ever in the history of this tournament.
Coach Dave Chambers indicated in discussion we had with him this morning that he might shorten his bench in this game. There's a possibility that he will go with just 3 lines for most of the contest. The American coach, Terry Christensen, has indicated that he will probably start with 4 lines, but he too might be shortening his bench.
Yeah, I'm sure that, as a matter of fact, they will. You can be sure that if Canada plays like they did in that Finnish game and just didn't really get going emotionally. He's going to go down to 9 forwards and maybe 4 or 5 blue liners. The Americans traditionally, when they get into tough competition, go with their 3 best lines, and I think they'll likely go down to 4 blue liners.
Thurin Fleury will start the game between Dan Curry and Jody Hull. For the Americans, it will be John Leclerc centering Jeremy Roenick and Mike Sullivan. So this game between Canada and the United States is underway. Chris Joseph drives it deep into the American zone. In the corner, it is Matt Schneider to his defensive partner, Rob Mandel. Up along the boards to Sullivan. He can't get out. Well, apparently it did come out across the blue line as it was fired in by Team Canada's Chris Joseph. So the face-off will take place outside the American line.
You know, we see here, we get a shot at this bench here, and it'll be interesting to find out. What we really want to find out is if they've forgotten about the Finnish game, Don, and recognize the tempo that's needed here today.
Back into his own zone goes Leclerc. He flipped it out into the neutral zone along the boards. Wayne McBean had to wait for the Canadian player to get back on side. Now Curry is fighting along the boards. It goes back of the American net. Mendel picks it up for the United States team. Ahead to Sullivan. Sullivan with a rink-wide pass. Roenick coming in across the line, trying to go for the net. Being hassled there by McBean, who forced him to cough the puck up, and back comes Thurin Fleury. Fleury in across the line, fakes the shot, now lets it go, gets it out front again, and Curry tried to jam it in at the side, but it was knocked off his stick, and it's dumped out into the center ice area. Scott McCready could not keep it in. Over to Hoggood, back to McCready. Lead pass just too far for Rob Brown. Brown now trying to center it. It goes back to the net off a skate. And Chris Miller flips it around to the other side. The Canadians with the better opportunities and controlling the play in the early going. Hoggood with a shot right on, and that is handled by Jason Glickman. A long blast from outside the blue line by Lee Davidson of the American team is held for a face-off by Jimmy Waite.
Interesting comment that we should make about Lee Davidson taking that last shot. He is really basically a Canadian, one of those boys that's got the dual citizenship for the Americans, and out of Winnipeg. I think you know that town, don't you, Don? You might be familiar
with it
to a small degree. Twice, haven't you?
Dave Chambers looking on as the puck comes back to the line to Chris Miller. Jimmy Waite falls back of the net as he attempted to play it. The Americans come up with it, but they can't get a shot away as it is blocked and brought out by Sheldon Kennedy. Kennedy lets a shot go wide. The rebound, Joe Sakic just misses the far corner. At the point, Desjardins trying to feed it in. Sheldon Kennedy has it. Kennedy drops it off in the corner for Sakic. Sakic tried to play it back of the net. Warren Babe bumps the American player along the boards, and the Americans manage to get it out into the neutral zone, but the Canadians continue to apply pressure. Sakic comes in across the line. Sakic trying to center it. There's nobody there as the Americans cover up, and Randy Scarta dumps it out into the center ice area. But they are having trouble advancing beyond the center ice area as Desjardins lets a shot go that is gloved and held by the American goaltender Jason Glickman. Our coverage of the World Junior Championship from Moscow continues after this message.
In all the frozen and faraway places, at all the lonely hours, day or night, there's a Tony Thompson striving to push a black puck on white ice toward the goal. Esso retailers are involved in hockey from beginners to Olympians for all the Tonys and Michaels and Lindas. Because service to the community doesn't stop at the gas pump.
.229 has gone by in a still scoreless opening period at the Luzhniki Sports Arena here in Moscow. Chris Joseph over to the other side to McBean. He couldn't keep it in, and it's dumped down into the Canadian zone. Donato attempted to center it. C.J. Young along the board gets it, takes a shot right on the rebound as they bang away in front of the net. It's cleared to the boards and picked up by Trevor Linden. He knocks it ahead to Rob DeMaio. DeMaio tried to center it, And McBean had come in deep from the point, but couldn't pick up that centering pass. Donato brings it back for the Americans. A long drive that is steered into the corner by Jimmy Waite, and it comes back out into the center ice area. DeMaio for Canada along the boards, looking cross ice, spots Chris Joseph. His shot is knocked down at the line, and back comes David Emma for the American squad, going back of the net. Out front, and a shot right on as Jimmy Waite makes the save from point-blank range.
Well, you got to say one thing about that. That's a big-time save by Jimmy Waite. Make no mistake, you're going to get a look now. Mike Modano's got that, and right there in the slot off the edge of the hash marks, I'll tell you can't get a better chance. And Mike Modano, who set that up, is a PA graduate, a year and a half there, and regarded as one of the top picks in the upcoming. All the scouts that we visit with, Don, you can be sure he's one of the guys they're keying in on.
Back at the point now. A shot off the stick of Skarda goes wide. Canada moving it out into the center ice area. Fleury racing down the right side. Back of the net, still controlling it. Tried to play it back to the point. It's intercepted, and back comes Team USA. Emma shoots it in. Picking it up off the end boards is Joe Day. He's bumped. It goes loose, and it's knocked out into the center ice area. Crowley for Team USA drives it into the Canadian zone. Hoggett is back there for Canada. Hoggett trying to move it up along the right side. Does get it out into the center ice area, but the Americans take over with Crowley in control. His pass almost intercepted by Curry. It's dumped down into the Canada zone. Hoggett brings it out to McCready. McCready is hit by Roenick as he shoots it in. And Mendel for the American squad, unable to clear. It's loose in the corner, now back of the net. Mendel will try again. This time he gets it ahead to Sullivan. Sullivan into the center ice area. He was looking for Leclerc, too far for him. It slides to the Canadian net, and it's dumped over to the boards by goaltender Jimmy Waite. Still scoreless in the first period. 4:41 has elapsed. The best scoring opportunity of the game so far belonging to Team USA. A shot from point-blank range by Steve Shifley that Jimmy Waite was able to grab and hang on to. Sullivan in his own zone. Breaks out with Leclerc. A long lead pass to Roenick in across the line. Roenick is spun around, and the puck is dumped out, but it was offside at the Canadian line. And now two players tangled up inside that Canadian blue line, and the officials quickly intervene.
Well, there is Eric Desjardins, and I'll tell you, when we talk about that, this kid has been very, very impressive in this tournament. He has got excellent feet. He's a great pick by the Montreal Canadiens, I think. Excellent feet, seems to understand the play very, very well. Knows how to move when he's not in the play and where to be in order to get the puck. And that's stuff that's hard to coach. It's hard to teach that kind of thing, not just the basic skills done.
Plays for Granby and a number 2 draft choice of the Montreal Canadiens. Randy Skarda fires it deep into the Canadian zone. Davidson picked it up off the boards, attempted to center it for Team USA, but it's brought back by Chris Joseph of Canada. He tried to slide it in, and his pass was intercepted and fired the length of the ice. Jimmy Waite leaves it back of the net for McBean. He plays it around in the boards for Sheldon Kennedy, who decided to leave it there for Joe Sakic. Sakic's shot is blocked at the line, and the Canadians have to regroup in the neutral zone. Skarda with a long shot. It doesn't get through. The rebound picked up by Davidson. He couldn't get a shot away, and back comes Canada, led by Joe Sakic. Sakic moving into the slot, dropping it off, and Babe's shot goes over top of the net. Sakic plays it back to the point. Hoggett tees it up. His shot goes wide. McCready from the other side. A shot that doesn't get through as it's knocked down by Chris Miller, and he dumps it down the ice. Hoggett races back after it as both sides make a change. Hoggett now for Canada, wheeling his way out into the neutral zone. He's stopped there. The puck loose along the board. Picked up by DeMaio. DeMaio in across the line. Slides it in for Peterson. Peterson couldn't go anywhere with it. Modano tried to move it out. He was unsuccessful. And Matt Snyder is hit behind the net, but does manage to get to the line, but not out. Now, following up on the play, Ted Donato lugs it out into the neutral area. And there it's knocked down by Canada. They come back. Peterson stops in the corner, Drops it back to the line for Hoggett, and it was just knocked past him as he was trying to drive into the slot area.
Nice little tip pass there by Schneider. He anticipates very well, a product of the Cornwall Royals, and a really intelligent play, the kind of thing you look for.
Back of the net now. Team Canada in control. It comes to the line. Desjardins with a shot that goes off a stick. Moving in is Mark Laniel. Laniel in the corner. He had pinched in from his defensive post, and he's battling along the boards with the puck. He pries it loose for Hull. Hull plays it to the other side to Theron Fleury. Fleury tried to give it right back to him. Got the puck back again. Gets it to Hull. To Fleury. The two of them looking to set something up. Now Fleury moves out in front, still controlling that puck for Team Canada. Fleury goes back of the net. Jody Hull looking to the point, and Desjardins was not in position. It slides back into the Canadian zone.
It's interesting. He's playing the left side there on that shift as a right-hand shot. Couldn't get a stick to that side.
Now it's Jody Hull ahead for Fleury. Fleury plays it around in the boards to the other corner, but Curry was not in position. However, he did win the battle and got there ahead of Randy Skarda, the American defenseman. And the Canadian team forechecking very well early in this hockey game.
They certainly are. You know, one of the things we see, they've got a lot of control of the play, and I'm concerned about the fact not real good scoring chances.
Puck comes out into the slot area, and Laniel stepped into the American player. Modano knocked him down as Team Canada comes back. Led by McBean, and it's offside. Curry had preceded the play across the line. 8:25 has gone by in the first period of this World Junior Championship game in Moscow.
My new hubby, Marty, what a sweetheart. He says that Home Hardware has everything for a new home.
Home has over 900 dealers.
Right. Home has the brooms, the mops, the cleaning supplies, the microwave cookware, and...
Couldn't pass these up, honey.
And the prices are
really great.
They really do bring home housewares in a big way.
Put it all in the home cart.
Welcome back to the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow. It's still scoreless, Canada and the USA. Lead pass to Sullivan in the center ice area. The American winger dumps it in. Back of the net. Canada trying to move it out. A shot is knocked down at the line, but a weak blast from the point by Matt Schneider doesn't get through, and it's brought back in by the Canadian team. Rob Brown upset as he came in across the line, and it's brought back into the Canadian zone. Adam Graves off the boards for Brown. Brown tried to get it back to Hoggett. He does in across the line. Pass off the stick of Recchi, and Recchi couldn't get a shot away as it was deflected by goaltender Jason Glickman.
Well, it's another concern we just talked about, Don, is that they got quite a bit of the control of the play, but not good scoring chances.
Hoggett comes in deep, still controlling it. Two players go for the net, but it's poked away from him by Chris Miller, and it's dumped down the ice, and this will produce an icing call as Scott McCready goes back to touch it.
It's the old story of just let's get out of trouble here. You know, let's get the puck out of here, Don. And as you have so aptly put it, really the U.S. have had the best scoring chance. There's not real good control of the puck here. Well, you'll notice when Hoggett comes in, he takes a look. He really steadies that defenseman, pulls him over, and the puck bounces off the stick.
Desjardins with the drive. That goes wide. Laniel was unable to keep the puck in at the other point. He has to go back into the center ice area to wait for his teammates to get back on side. Now Team Canada to the attack again. Babe tried to leave it in the slot area for Sheldon Kennedy, but the Americans dump it out to the neutral zone. Again, Laniel waits for his teammates to get on side and dumps it in. Along the boards, Babe gets it for Team Canada. He plays it back of the net. Sheldon Kennedy is tied up, but Joe Sakic is in there quickly. Sakic is taken out of the play. And now Miller of Team USA and Kennedy tied up along the boards for a faceoff.
We see a lot of play in international hockey behind the net. A lot of puck handling you're going to see because of the fact that there's not much more ice surface. And there's a young fellow that likes a lot of ice surface. This boy Linden, I'm going to tell you a story about him. There's another kid. Him and Medano are facing off nose to nose. Both play in the same league. Linden with Medicine Hat, Medano with PA, and they're both considered very high draft choices, and don't think they just don't feel good about each other today. You can be sure of that.
Peterson back to the line. McBean with a shot right on. Glickman made the save, and the puck goes into the corner. 10:29 has gone by in this opening period. At the line, Joseph trying to keep it in, and it's knocked out by Team USA, and Donato breaks out 3-on-1, and the shot, it goes high and wide.
Well, I got to interpret that, Don, as a little bit of a selfish play. You know, when you got a 3-on-1, you don't take a slap shot from the top of the circle or the side of the circle.
DeMaio and Medano going back to the Canadian goal. Medano goes down, and DeMaio is going to get a penalty. So a power play opportunity with 9:04 left to play in the opening period in a scoreless battle between Team USA and Team Canada.
Well, here we see it here. I see him forcing the play. Likely gets called for slashing maybe. But I want to go back to that 3-on-1 the Americans had. Now, how many times since we've been together and over the couple of years, we always talk about scoring chances. You don't go down on a 3-on-1 and then take a slap shot and miss the net. That's a scoring chance that they record.
However, the Americans will have an opportunity now on the power play with DeMaio in the penalty box. From the face-off, it comes loose, and it's picked up by Davidson. Davidson trying to set something up back at the line. A shot that sails wide. And it's knocked out into the center ice area and was almost stolen away by Jody Hull and knocked back in offside by Team USA.
Well, Jody Hull, who just knocked that out, is a coach's dream of a hockey player. We know him very, very well. Obviously plays the Ontario Hockey League with the Peterborough Petes. He is a coach's dream because he's the kind of player you can trust out there. And then, of course, Hoggett, he's another coach's dream because he can skate and handle a puck so well. There's a few coaches' dreams out here, to be honest with you.
Well, what Hoggett lacks in physical stature, he makes up in speed and heart. And, of course, he was a draft choice of the Boston Bruins. They didn't select him, however, until the 10th round. Schneider tries a pass that is blocked in the neutral zone by Theron Fleury. Fired in by Lee Davidson. Miller goes into the corner. He's bumped there. Turcotte, who plays with North Bay in the Ontario Hockey League, gets it back to the line. Turcotte gets it again. The Americans controlling it in the Canadian zone. Over to Turcotte. He takes a shot, gets it again, cuts right in front, flips the shot. At the side of the net, they jam away, they score!
Constant hard work by Darren Turcotte. We're going to see number 14. Keep your eye on him. Now the shot is blocked. It's lost by the defenseman. Turcotte stays on it, moves to the net, throws a backhand. The puck is still there. He stays on it right over there, and the winger stuffs it in an open net. Even I can score on one of those, Don. Maybe you too. And we'll see it again here. Now watch Turcotte stay on it. That North Bay product. There's the backhand shot. It comes out. He stays on it right through the legs and feet and over there. All the work by Darren Turcotte. North Bay Centennial Ontario Hockey League product, playing against some of his players that he plays against all year.
Chris Miller gets the goal. A power play tally for Team USA. The goal coming at 12:05. Donato breaks in, but it's offside. Team USA leading Team Canada at the World Junior Championship in Moscow, 1-0.
Why follow the leader when you can be the leader? B.E. Larkin is the top independent case utility dealer across Canada. Case has been the loader backhoe leader for over 3 decades. Together, B.E. Larkin and Case are now a full-line equipment dealer. B.E. Larkin continues to sell loader backhoes, plus Case heavy equipment, compaction, trencher, and utility lines. Stay ahead of your competition and be the leader with B.E. Larkin and Case equipment, located in Peterborough and Belleville.
In the center ice area, Scarda shoots it into the Canadian zone. Desjardins back of the net, playing it around on the boards for Recchi. Recchi with a rink-wide pass. Adam Graves couldn't pick that up, and it's flipped back into the Canadian zone, but it's whistled down on the offside.
We're really about to find out about this 1-0 score now for the Americans, because I'll tell you, the Canadians have had territorial edge and play, and in fact, they've had possession of the puck when we talk about possession of the puck, except they didn't have so many very good scoring chances. And now all of a sudden they get a penalty. Bango, it's 1-0 for the Americans. We'll see now what kind of an effect it has emotionally on the Canadians.
1-0 is the score. Team USA leading Team Canada. Team Canada still undefeated in this tournament. Victories against Sweden and Czechoslovakia and a tie with Finland. Day for the Americans, shoots it into the Canadian zone. Jimmy Waite leaves it there for Wayne McBean. Drives it out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Team USA. Here's another opportunity for Mendel. He shoots, and getting a pad on that is Jimmy Waite, and back comes Kennedy. Kennedy driving for the net. Tries to go around the defenseman, couldn't get the shot away, and the penalty is coming up here against Team USA. But a big toe save by Jimmy Waite just prior to that penalty call off the shot by Rob Mendel.
How do hockey games turn around? Very often. You get a big save in your end. Now watch Kennedy. He pulls in a little bit. I guess they're going to give him that penalty for elbowing or his interference right there. But I'll tell you what, the big save made by Jimmy Waite down at his end, and Bango, Kennedy comes down. Instead of it being 2-0, Don, it's 1-0 for the Americans, and the Canadians go on to the power play.
A charging call against Joe Day of Team USA.
Well, I call it interference or elbowing. That's 2 out of 3, though. Ain't bad, is it?
Back at the line, Hoggett has it. Hoggett and McCready back in the points. Over to Fleury, a shot right on. A glove save by Jason Glickman. He plays with the Hull Olympics. It's interesting that he and Jimmy Waite, the starting goaltenders, face each other in league play.
Yeah, that is interesting. Now, you know what he's saying, though, about that shot over in the sideboard. It's a pretty good hard shot. When you're shorthanded, they can have those shots all day long. You can be shorthanded for 4 weeks, and they can have the shots on the outside there.
Hoggett back at the line, tees it up, lets the shot go. It goes off a stick. Fleury has it. Team Canada on the power play. Rob Brown flipping it at the net. He gets another opportunity, and Glickman makes the save. McBean with a shot right on the rebound. They score. Dan Curry pokes it in.
Well, there's a simple story. You ask the goaltender to make the first save. Jimmy Waite made the first save down at the other end, and Dan Curry's there for the rebound. Now, there's an interesting point. Now, take a look at all the action around here. Lots of action. There's the rebound. One shot still doesn't go in. Second shot, it goes upstairs. Hey, there's no fault on Glickman for that. Somebody's got to clear that play. You can't leave people out there. One shot, second shot made, and then it goes right upstairs on the deflection. Give Curry credit. 60% of the shots done in the NHL, or goals scored, I mean, not shots, 60% or a little over are scored on the second shot. And if the goaltender makes the first save, that should be enough. Somebody's got to get those guys out of there.
Curry with his 3rd goal of the tournament. And Canada is back on even terms as Laniel dumps it in. A power play goal at 13:44. So both sides have scored on their only power play opportunities in this opening period. Desjardins to Laniel, a shot, and that's deflected wide. Roenick picks it up along the boards. He brings it out to Leclerc. Leclerc over to Sullivan, just a little too far for him. He's bumped by Desjardins. The puck goes back of the net. And Leclerc is spun around. The puck goes loose, and it's brought out by Team Canada. Desjardins in across the line, trying to drive into the slot area. Lost control of the puck, and back comes Leclerc for Team USA. The Americans making a change as Leclerc brings it into the Canadian zone. And now Canada with Trevor Linden getting it ahead to Adam Graves. Graves cutting for the net. Centers it, and it's cleared to the boards. Graves, a draft choice of the Detroit Red Wings, has scored a couple of key goals in this tournament for Team Canada. And, of course, a big hit in the game against Finland that set up a goal. A point from the shot is deflected wide of the American net. A shot right on, rebound, and Recchi tried to jam it past Jason Glickman. And it's held by Glickman and results in a face-off in the Team USA zone. The score tied at 1, and we have 4 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the period.
They're shooting the puck very low, and that's a good sign, too. You got to shoot that puck low so that they can get a rebound. Very often you get people in front of the net, Don, and they throw that puck club high, and the goaltender grabs it and gets a face-off, and it's very, very frustrating. You got to get it down there where he can't control it so you can get that second shot.
The face-off taking place in the American zone to the left of goaltender Jason Glickman. Puck picked up by Mendel. He takes it back of his own net. The Canadians with 2 men in deep, forechecking. It's deflected out into the center ice area, and Chris Joseph goes back for Team Canada. Joseph gets it ahead to Sakic. He nudges it into the American zone. But Miller picks it up along the boards and fires it out to center ice. Wayne McBean has to wait for his teammates to get onside. Apparently he didn't wait long enough.
You know, we should note here for our viewers, we're having a little difficulty with those pucks coming around the boards by the blue line because obviously we play on narrower ice. And our defensemen who like to crowd in and get that shot with a little better angle, by the time we get over, we're in there when the puck, there's been 3 or 4 times I've noticed where we can't just quite get there in time. And that's, you know, that's quite noticeable. And obviously when you're playing this bigger ice that we're not used to playing on and have very few ice surfaces this big, we're not ready for it.
Hoggood back of his own goal, trying to utilize the speed. His attempted pass is intercepted and fired in by Donato and then dumped out by the Canadian squad. Mike Modano tried to break in on the right side. The big center from the Prince Albert Raiders of the Western Hockey League. It comes back to the line. A high shot that is knocked into the corner, gloved into the corner by the Canadian defenseman Scott McCready. Donato centering it, and it's taken to safety along the boards by Curry, who tied the game with that power play goal. Ahead to Hoggood now. Hoggood trying to go around the defenseman. Out of the net to try and clear it is Glickman, as both Hoggood and Hull were moving in. Now it's back of the goal. Hoggood looking to center it, looking out front. Curry couldn't get a shot away, and Team USA starts back. Here's a 2-on-1. Donato and Modano. Donato takes the shot, and it's held by Jimmy Waite for a face-off, with some more pushing and shoving in front of the goal. The score tied at 1 in the World Junior Tournament at the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow.
Why follow the leader when you can be the leader? B.E. Larkin is the top independent case utility dealer across Canada. Case has been the loader backhoe leader for over 3 decades. Together, B.E. Larkin and Case are now a full-line equipment dealer. B.E. Larkin continues to sell loader backhoes, plus case heavy equipment, compaction, trencher, and utility lines. Stay ahead of your competition and be the leader with B.E. Larkin and Case equipment, located in Peterborough and Belleville.
Face off to the left of the Canadian goal. Puck picked up and brought out by Desjardins. Long lead pass intercepted by Team USA. And Canada now to the attack. Peterson with a blast that goes off a stick high up into the crowd. And again, a disappointing crowd for this afternoon game in Moscow, but it is New Year's Eve in Moscow, and New Year's is one of the big celebrations in the Soviet capital.
Really, it certainly is. As a matter of fact, it's a 4-day holiday here. And they're all prime. You know, there's lineups everywhere here. But at the liquor stores, there is certainly long lineups.
Face off to the right of Jason Glickman with the score tied at 1. Both teams scoring on the power play. Day gets it out into the center ice area. Loose puck. Shifley took a shot, and Jimmy Waite stood his ground and blocked it. Great opportunity there for Team USA as Shifley won the race for that loose puck. Now at the Canadian line, it's knocked down by Laniel. He fed it to Linden across 2 lines. Linden was hit by Mendel, and it is an offside pass in the neutral zone. Coach Dave Chambers has to be a little concerned, I would think, Sherry, that his team has dominated play, but he has given up a 3-on-1 and a 2-on-1 break.
Yes, and a couple of really good scoring chances, so they really have to be worried about that. They'll try and correct that between periods.
And on both of those breaks, the 3-on-1 and the 2-on-1, Ted Donato brought the puck in on both occasions he shot.
Yeah, he's we got the old blindfolders on a little bit there. You said Donato and Medano, though. I thought there was some kind of a movie theater you're talking about.
Loose puck in the center ice area. Canadian team attempting to dump it in. Brown went in anticipation of that puck being fired in, and the Canadian squad, led by Chris Joseph, had to wait until he got back on side. Joseph flips it into the corner. Skarda falls. Loose puck comes out front, then is cleared. Back out front again, but the American player Sullivan is able to clear the zone. A minute and 56 seconds remaining in the first period. The score tied at 1. Skarda plays it along the boards, can't get out, and a shot by McBean is knocked down in front and dumped down the ice. Rob Brown was checked in front of that United States goal, lost his helmet in the process. Now the puck comes out into the center ice area. Mendel in across the line, drop pass, and the shot and the save by Jimmy Waite off the stick of David Emma. In the corner, Kip Miller trying to get it back to the point, intercepted by Team Canada. Here's an opportunity. Hoggett in across the line with Kennedy. Scores!
Wow, that is a great play of hard work. That's the kind of play that you show in hockey schools that you keep on the tape. Kennedy read that from his own zone. Hoggett got a chance to break. Now watch him go. Watch him fight with that pressure on him, and somebody draped all over him. Picked a low corner. Now look at him. Look at him with the interference. Somebody all over. He said, "Are you kidding?" And drives it inside that post. That was a shot. That was a determination. That's the effort. That's the heart. Put all the cliches together. And that is a big goal. And if that doesn't uplift the Canadian team, nothing will.
Kennedy, his second of the tournament from Hoggett at 18:43, giving Canada the lead for the first time, 2-1. Kip Miller draped all over Sheldon Kennedy, but he was still able to get that shot away on that perfect pass from Greg Hoggett.
It's the kind of play that you give a guy an MVP award for, because if it does get your team going, you can look back to certain plays. For all the games that you've covered for years and years and years, there are a number of games where you will look at a key play.
Mendel of the American side is heading off to the U.S. dressing room with the team doctor. So obviously some problem has developed, and that was the reason for the delay. Canada in front by a score of 2-1. Sheldon Kennedy with the go-ahead goal. In the center ice area, Team USA defenseman Chris Miller circles, dumped it over to Schneider. He couldn't get out of the zone. Curry picks it up. He's bumped now by Miller. Schneider plays it to the line, kept in there by Desjardins. It's loose back of the net. Fleury trying to center it. It bounces off a stick. Jody Hull comes in to help out. Hull looking into the slot, and Curry was tied up, and back comes Team USA, led by Mike Medano. Medano with a good move into the slot area. Shot, he scores! Well, that's why the scouts think so highly of Mike Medano, who plays with the Prince Albert Raiders. A nifty move at the Canadian blue line into the slot, and a high shot over the shoulder of Jimmy Waite.
We just see the end of this play. But where you really have to see it is the Jody Hull in their own end. Now watch it. He puts it upstairs. We see the end of this play. Really, Mike Medano made the play in his own end in front of the net. If Jody Hull had the puck, throws it out in the middle there, he comes in, clears the puck, goes down the ice, beats some people, moves the puck, and bango, it's 2-2. You talk about a big-time individual effort. The people on the outskirts of Detroit are going to be happy with this young man, because he is a candidate to be the first pick.
Chris Joseph in his own zone. He can't go anywhere with it. Rob DeMaio comes in to help out. And now Canada breaks out. 3-on-2. Linden having a little trouble, manages to get it back to Babe. He deflects it to the goal mouth, but it's cleared to the corner with 20 seconds remaining in the period. That Medano goal, with Joe Day drawing the assist, coming at 19:19 of this opening period to tie it at 2.
There's another young man on this American team by the name of Jeremy Runnick, who's also supposedly a very highly regarded. But they tell me that Medano, because of his major junior experience of 1.5 years already with the Prince Albert Raiders, is much more advanced, especially with the puck. He's a 6'3", big, strong boy. He's very skillful. He knows the game. He's a good skater, and he showed that good shift that the pros talk about. And there's no question, you can see why they're really here watching him.
And he's just 17 years of age.
Yeah. You think he's got a golden future?
Shafley knocks it down the ice. Going back after it is Chris Joseph. Joseph plays it around on the boards for Recchi. Recchi couldn't get it out. It's flipped up high and over the glass by Chris Miller. So the faceoff will take place back in the U.S. zone with just 4 seconds remaining in the period.
Well, it's just about, you can be sure now that the Canadian coaches got to go in and say, don't get frustrated. Even though we've had the puck a lot, it's still 2-2. Don't you be getting frustrated and going out and being foolish.
CBC Sports pleased to bring you coverage of the 1987-88 World Junior Hockey Championships from Moscow. Our first game, that 4-2 triumph over Czechoslovakia. This game today and our live coverage tomorrow, New Year's Day, of the game between Canada and the Soviet Union. From the face-off, Brown attempted to get a shot. The puck goes into the corner, and the horn sounds to end the opening period here at the Luzhniki Sports Arena. A little pushing and shoving in the corner following that final horn, but nothing serious is going to develop. And now both coaches at their respective benches yelling at their players to head off the ice, and the cooler heads prevail as they depart for their dressing rooms. But this is how it all developed in the final seconds.
A little extra pushing and shoving. We got to stay away from that. We can't afford that kind of stuff. That's not what's going to win this tournament for us.
So after one period of play in the 1987-88 World Championships, the score is tied at 2, and we'll be back as Jerry Fogarty of CBC Radio talks with Canadian defenseman Greg Hawgood.
Did you know that Radio Canada International is the voice of Canada abroad? And did you know that traveling Canadians listen to Radio Canada International on shortwave to keep in touch? We bring Canada to the world.
Ici Radio-Canada International.
Canada Radio. Canada Internacional transmite para o Brasil.
Radio Canada International.
What's the #1 video show in Canada? You guessed it, Video Hits. We've got all the newest videos from your favorite artists, plus great contests, exclusive interviews, and to top it off, every Friday we play your special requests. All that and more on Canada's favorite video show, Video Hits. Join us weekdays at 5 p.m. right here on CBC TV.
Show him we're the best.
He shoots, he scores, he's back, and the heat is on. Pierre Lambert takes on the Russians.
Pierre, I want to defend.
And the only game hotter than hockey is the game Pierre plays off the ice.
Where are you going dressed like that?
Isn't that the way you like your women?
It's a hot new season, hot enough to melt the ice. He shoots, he scores. Best on the Box, January 9th on CBC Television.
2-2 is the score after 20 minutes of play at the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow. Curry and Kennedy scoring for Canada, Miller and Modano for Team USA. That Kennedy goal set up by Greg Hawgood. A pretty play, and he's standing by now with Jerry Fogarty.
Thank you, Don Whitman. Greg Hawgood wears number 4 for Team Canada. Greg, you're one of the smaller players. How big?
5'9", about 185 pounds.
You're a solid 185.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Where's home, Greg?
St. Albert, Alberta.
but you play your hockey.
In Kamloops, this is my 5th year in Kamloops.
So you'll be drafted, will you, coming up in the spring?
No, I've been drafted already in the 10th round by Boston Bruins.
I see. So your NHL future at the present time could be with the Boston Bruins then.
Well, hopefully. I've been to camp for 2 years in a row, and you know, they tell me they like what they see, but we'll have to see what happens.
Greg, this American team gave you plenty in that first period.
Well, we knew they'd be geared up. You know, they always like to try and beat the Canadians, and we came out, and I think, you know, we had the puck in their end for most of the period, but they had a few, you know, a few good plays on their part. They had a power play goal, and you know, you can't count them out at all.
You feel that they play more of the physical game, the game that you like? I know you like a rough, tough game, right?
Well, it's, you know, more North American style. There's a lot of college, and there's some junior players on their team, and, you know, everybody from our team's from junior, so we knew it'd be like a game back home, and we knew the bodies would be flying around. It'd be more like a North American style game.
You know some of these players, or at least some of the members of the team, are familiar with the American players because they play junior in Canada?
Well, there's you know, Mike Mandano who plays in Prince Albert, and there's Darren Turcotte plays in North Bay, and there's a few other guys, and you know, guys have seen them and played against them. You know, they have a very good, talented team, and you know, they can't be counted out by any note.
You feel you were ready for them in the first period?
Well, I think so. Like I said, I think we had to play in their end most of the time. Their goalie came up with a few big saves, and you know, they got a few good breaks, and they put their opportunities home.
You drew a lot of ice time. Your regular shift, you killed penalties, you're on the power play.
Well, this is my 2nd year on the team, and I'm used to playing a lot in Kamloops, so you know, lots of ice time for me is nothing new, and you know, I just try and do my best to help out the team.
Well, Coach Chambers has yourself and 3 other returnees from the team of last year. Do you think you're going to get more ice time? The players with more experience now are going to see more ice time in these games?
Oh, I think, you know, we have 20 very good players, and I think that's the strength of our team. You know, we don't play 3 lines and 5 defense. We play all 4 lines, 6 defense, and both of our goalies are very talented. And I think if we win the tournament, that's what's going to help us win. You know, guys don't get tired. They go out there for 30, 40-second shifts, and they play well and come off the ice and let the other guys have their chance.
Always comes down to hard work, doesn't it, Greg?
Well, I think, you know, always the team with the most talent doesn't win. You know, if talent doesn't work hard always beats talent. So, you know, we just want to come out and play the best we can. And, you know, this is for a silver medal, so we got to come out in the next 2 periods and play hard.
Thank you, Greg Hawgood.
All right, thank you.
Game. Greg Hawgood of Team Canada. And let's go now to Don and Sherry.
Thank you, Jerry. Greg Hawgood, one of the 4 returning members of Team Canada. And I think Coach Dave Chambers is looking to the veterans such as Greg Hawgood to provide much of the incentive and the inspiration and the leadership for this Canadian team.
And those guys are really doing it too. Make no mistake about Greg Hawgood and Theron Furry. I mean, they're a pepper puck kind of hockey player too. That Hawgood jumped on that puck. He's very good offensively. I mean, he can score from anywhere, and he's got that ability to feed the puck. So they really rely on that thing. But what was really interesting today, I think in 3 out of the 4 goals, we saw great individual efforts done. I mean, really, you know, Turcotte, even though he didn't score for the Americans, and he plays in the junior league in Canada, was a great individual effort to stay on the puck, and then got it over to Miller. On rebounds again, Jimmy Waite makes the first shot. Medano's was an outstanding effort. Took the puck from our end, literally intercepted, came back to what we call pick up the secondary in our own end and so forth to protect. Clears the puck away from Jody Hull, pass out, goes down the ice and did everything. I mean, he should, you know, when he scores that kind of a goal. Then Kennedy's goal, I mean, those are the kind of goals we love to see for all the hockey that you cover with a guy draped all over you, work. You know, I mean, there's a number of syllables and statements that you'd give for that kind of thing. A heart and, you know, dedication and grit, and, you know, we got them all, you know. And then the other one was simple. Very simple. Dan Curry standing in front of the net. They shoot the puck low where the goalie can't control it, and gets really his 2nd shot and a rebound upstairs. So we've seen some good hockey, that the good individual plays that you would save for videotapes that you'd want to show different hockey players.
Well, Sherry, I know you've never been short on words, and for your 2nd speech in this first intermission, what will the Canadian team have to do in the 2nd period?
I'll tell you what they have to do is that they got to stay away what they did at the end of the period. Got to stay away from that. And what they have to do is stay away from that kind of frustration from the fact that they've had so much possession of the puck, and you aptly put it a number of times in your play-by-play, not getting great scoring chances. As opposed to the Americans, the few times they've been on our end, they've had some pretty good chances. So, very simple. They can stay away from the frustration.
Well, the score is tied at 2 after 20 minutes, and we'll return to the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow right after this.
If the SO No Trouble gasoline now helps you get away from gas line freeze-out and in cold, damp weather, stalling and rough idling, why get caught without it?
In diving, the path to Olympic glory begins at an early age. It takes years of patience, perseverance, and dedication, and requires a unique long-term bond between coach and athlete.
See what it looks like? Feel it? Divers are special. To reach their dream, they work hard every day to be technically perfect, but they love every minute of it.
3M is built on dreams. When an experimental liquid spilled on a sneaker wouldn't come off and resisted stains, chemists Patsy Sherman and Sam Smith dreamed it might be useful. Their dreams became the reality of Scotchgard brand fabric protector. 3M supports dreams, those of its employees and those of coaches.
There's a special quality that separates good athletes from champions, and I see it in Anne. I know with time we'll reach our dream.
3M, supporting the dream with Olympic coverage on CBC.
On our final program for this season, we revisit some of the special people and places of rural Canada. Join us on Out Your Way, Thursday at 7:30.
Like life after 50, the best years just keeps getting better and better.
7 o'clock Fridays on CBC television beginning January 8th.
Team USA returning to the ice for the start of the second period, along with their head coach, Terry Christensen, and the coaching staff of the Canadian team moving out, followed by the Canadian squad goaltender Jimmy Waite, the first member of that Canadian side, onto the ice. Sherry, that first period, a contrast to the previous game we televised from the Luzhniki Sports Arena against Czechoslovakia, where Canada had a steady parade to the penalty box. As a matter of fact, 14 penalties in all, and they played almost a full period shorthanded.
Well, we talked about it even away from the rink and the coaching staff. If they continue that parade of penalties in this class of hockey, before you know it, you're out of the tournament. Not only and now they're down to a situation, if they're out of one game, they're out of the tournament.
Jason Glickman, who plays for the Hull Olympics, the goaltender for the American team. And in that first period, here was the first goal. And you talked about the work being done by Turcotte, and he forced the play, got the puck to the side of the net, and there to put it in was Kip Miller.
Stays right on the puck. Now watch his backhand. He tries to get it between the legs. Puck bounces out to him. It's over. I'd like to be standing over there and score that one just to get my name in the record books, but don't take anything away to be there. Now watch this. Now that's the old story about getting in front of the net where you're supposed to be. The defenseman makes a nice low shot. The puck comes out to him, kicked up, and gone upstairs. Actually, he didn't take it on the second shot or the third shot. This was a treasure of a goal. I mean, you just love to see that. That fella is draped all over him. Kennedy says, I'm going to get that shot off no matter what. Now we take a look at all the way down the ice. Modano goes outside, inside, makes a shift into the middle of the slot. Didn't deliver the puck from a bad angle. Moved right to the middle of the net where he's got full look at everything, and then throws it upstairs on the old-fashioned wrist shots. Now, with your age, Don, you remember the wrist shots. Us young guys, we don't remember the wrist shots.
Well, there are so many who like to slap it all the time, but that was a great wrist shot by Mike Modano. And the folks in Prince Albert looking on, and those who follow the Western Hockey League can relate to that, because Modano is one of the top players in the Western League and is expected to be one of the top draft selections. In the center ice area, stolen by Fleury. Fleury in across the line, takes the shot, he scores! Theron Fleury with a nifty move, just 12 seconds into the second period, has put Team Canada in front 3-2.
Stayed on the puck, and a nice low shot, the toughest shot. No rebound there, nice low shot. He'll stay on the puck. He gets to be knocked off the puck right along the ice inside the post. See you later, it's 3-2, 12 seconds in to the period. Now, that's great for the team that scores, and if you think it doesn't hurt for the team that gets scored against, you know it.
Well, we talked about the leadership provided by the returning players, and Theron Fleury is doing it in the dressing room and on the ice. Fleury getting the go-ahead goal. He is the Team Canada captain, and that is his third goal of the tournament.
It's interesting that you specifically mentioned that. You may get the award for anticipation.
In the center ice area, Skarta has the pass knocked down by Fleury. Slap shot, it just goes wide. McBean from the point. Got a shot away, a weak one. Jody Hull, the rebound off the post. It came out the other side and bounced away from Fleury. Canada coming close to taking a 2-goal advantage. Penalty coming up against Chris Joseph as he hauled the American player down, and the Americans will get a power play opportunity. They scored on their only chance in the first period.
We're going to see something interesting here because the hooking comes from the back end of the stick, and we're so used to seeing it on the front end of the stick. You'll see puts that stick out and hooks him in there, ties them up. The referee's on top of it and calls it. Now, very often we get away with some of that stuff back home. So in all due respect to Joseph here, that there's no question about it that very often we can impede that guy coming in the side, but they call it hooking, and they're shorthanded for 2 minutes.
Viktor Gubernatorov of the Soviet Union, the referee, calling that play. The puck comes out across the line, is brought out by Team Canada. Adam Graves dumps it deep into the American zone. He and Recchi are out there killing off this penalty. The American team having a little trouble against Recchi's forechecking. Medano circling in his own zone. Now he starts out. Medano on the right side. Leclerc couldn't control it, and it's fired back into the Team USA zone. Glickman plays it around the boards to the other side. C.J. Young tried to move it out. Graves wouldn't let him. Recchi is in there helping out, and Recchi takes the puck in against the boards, tried to tie it up as he fell, but it was knocked free by the Americans. 1:30 gone in this second period. 1:08 remaining in the penalty to Team Canada, leading by a score of 3-2. Here's Young with a shot that just went wide. From the point, Skarta manages to keep it in. His attempted flip into the corner is intercepted and brought out. Rob DeMaio in across the line, drops it off for Sakic, and that hit the post. Picked up by DeMaio. DeMaio takes a hit along the boards, still manages to keep it in, gets it loose for Sakic. Sakic trying to cut in front, couldn't go around the American defenseman. Now coming out is Medano. Medano with a long slap shot off a leg. It ricochets off the boards, is steered to the corner by the goaltender. Jimmy Waite picked up by Young. Young back to the net, trying to center it, knocked down by Desjardins. Desjardins gets away from Leclerc. Lead pass off DeMaio's stick, and Turcotte goes back into his own zone. Turcotte, who plays for North Bay, and Bert Templeton, who coached Team Canada last year in the World Junior Championships in Czechoslovakia, fired in, but it's whistled down on an offside call.
Donato, who has been in on the net a few times, you talked about a 2-on-1 and a 3-on-1 and took some shots. But Turcotte, who you visited about, he was in the tournament last year for the Americans and played against his coach, who coached the Canadian team.
Just 7 seconds remaining in the hooking call against Chris Joseph. Canada in front by a score of 3-2. McBean to Jody Hull, and Chris Joseph is back on the ice. Puck dumped deep into the Team USA zone. Now the Americans bring it out. Pass knocked down by McBean. McBean dishes it off to Theron Fleury. Fleury trying to go in from the left side, and Glickman manages to make the save. And Theron Fleury with a good burst of speed and a great scoring opportunity. 3:02 has gone by in the second period in this World Junior Championship game.
For those who don't know, there's trouble. But for those who do know, there's no trouble. The Esso No Trouble gasoline now reduces gas line freeze-up, and in cold, damp weather, reduces stalling and rough idling.
Want to lift again, Mr. Bill?
Now you know.
Hold on tight.
The face-off to the right of Glickman. The draw back to the line. Hoggett with a shot. Glove saved by Glickman. And they'll perform that face-off over again in the Soviet zone.
Clean win on that face-off. Clean win in the when you're in the offensive zone like that and can win those face-offs like Brown did. That's very, very important.
Brown this time gets the draw back to the line. Hoggett with a shot. At the side of the net, they score! It's knocked in by Rob Brown as he picked up that puck off the end boards and put it behind Jason Glickman. Glickman was anticipating, I think, that puck going around the other way, and it came directly out front.
Well, you'll see the puck come right off the boards, and he's right there again, standing on the edge of the net. That's 2 goals for Canada right there wide open. The goaltender goes to clear the puck, actually, and he's a little bit, his stick's out of a position to protect them, and now it's 4-2 Canada.
But Hoggett with that shot from the point and pouncing on the rebound, Rob Brown, and Canada leads by a score of 4-2. This will be an icing call against Canada as it's dumped in deep. Brown with his 3rd goal of the tournament, and Hoggett draws the assist. So Team Canada enjoys a 4-2 lead. I'm Don Whitman along with Sherry Basson providing coverage on our CBC English television network, and beside us here in the stands at the Luzhniki Sports Arena and providing television coverage for our French radio network, Radio Canada, Ray Lebrun, Francois Lavallée, and Jacques St. Jean. The face-off in the Canadian zone to the left of Jimmy Waite. Canada with a 2-goal lead. The Americans scored the first goal of the game. Canada came back to take a 2-1 lead before a late goal by Mike Madana tied it. And then very early in the second, a solo effort by Fleury put Canada in front, and then Rob Brown's goal has given Team Canada a 2-goal advantage. Team Canada still unbeaten, and the next game for Team Canada will be against the Soviet Union tomorrow, and we'll have live coverage of that game for you on CBC television. Soviet television providing our pictures from Moscow and the World Junior Championship at the Luzhniki Sports Arena. The tournament is being played at 2 facilities. This one, where most of the Canadian games are taking place, at least the ones we're televising, and the Olympic Sports Arena. In across the line, Peterson couldn't go anywhere with it. Now McBean comes back for Canada. He dumps it in and is hit along the boards. In behind his own net, Ted Crowley has a little difficulty there. Canada gets the puck, trying to center it. Peterson jamming away at it. And Schneider ties him up as Jason Glickman holds that puck with 2 Canadian players trying to poke it past him. Dave Chambers, the athletic director at York University, the coach of this junior team, and he's showing a little more emotion in this game than he did in the win over Czechoslovakia.
Well, I think he's concerned about what he didn't see out of his own team and recognizes it's got to come from within, but from the bench and from everybody. I see all the coaches, as a matter of fact, for this game right there on the bench. Nobody on the phones.
Jody Hull tried to slap it in. He was knocked down by Chris Miller, and Miller manages to clear the puck with Hoggett retreating into his own zone after it. Canada leading by a score of 4-2. We played 4:18 of the second period. Here's Biron Fleury driving in, going for the net. Backhand shot saved by Glickman, and the puck played off the glass and out into the center ice area. That Fleury really has a burst of speed.
Well, he has been a constant threat this game. A constant threat, and that's that good speed that he's got.
Fleury, a draft choice of the Calgary Flames. There are some who are skeptical of his chances to play in the National Hockey League because of his size, but with his speed and with his heart and his scoring skills, there are many who think he will make it. He fed it out to Curry. He fired it high and wide, and it's brought back by Team USA, but they are checked very quickly, and Canada comes back, again led by Fleury. Slap shot, the save by Glickman, and he holds it for a face-off. 5:06 has elapsed in period 2 at the World Junior Championships in Moscow.
Team Chrysler is driving to be the best in value with $750 cash back on new 88s and remaining 87s direct from Chrysler, Dodge Lancers, new LeBaron Coupes and GTS, and more. $500 on Canada K, already priced $1,000 less than 86. Ram Tough Dodge trucks, including midsize Dakota and Dodge Ram Charger, plus savings up to $1,100 on option package discounts. For value, choice, and warranty protection, see your Team Chrysler dealer now.
Welcome back to the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow. I'm Don Whitman along with Sherry Bassin as we provide our coverage of the World Junior Championship. This is our second game, Canada against the United States. We hope you're enjoying the action wherever you're looking in, and will be with us tomorrow for our live coverage of what could be a gold medal game, Canada and the Soviet Union. Back at the line, Laniel flips it towards the net. It goes off a skate just wide. Canada totally controlling play here in the second period. Laniel gets it again. Laniel, a backhand shot that is knocked down, comes out into the slot area, and Team USA dumps it down the ice.
All they're doing is getting rid of it. They just want to get out. You know, there's just so much pressure. Canada has really had control this second period. Something to do with that goal after 12 seconds, I'd guess.
That provided some inspiration, I think, for Team Canada as Captain Theron Fleury scored the goal. Now Recchi breaks in. Recchi into the slot, drops it off. Brown fired it just wide. Recchi in the corner for Babe. Warren Babe couldn't go anywhere with it. Recchi gets it back to the point. McBean with a shot. He just missed the far side. It ricochets off the boards and all the way back into the Team Canada zone. Chris Joseph, drafted by Pittsburgh, traded to Edmonton as part of the Paul Coffey swap. In across the line. He's got good speed, trying to set it up. Directed it towards the goal. It was steered wide. Now back of the net. Crowley has it for Team USA. He plays it off the boards to center ice. And Canada's Chris Joseph is taken in against the boards. The puck comes back to McBean in his own zone. Lead pass for Adam Graves to Sakic. It's dumped in. Knocked down there by Crowley, and it's whistled down on an offside call.
Well, we talk in this game. We talk so much about momentum, and that 12-second goal by Fleury. And as a matter of fact, every time he's on the ice, I'm not sure anybody else is dressed because I hear his name so often. That you talked about that kind of leadership, and you demonstrate that leadership on the ice as well as off the ice, and he's certainly done that today.
Not a big crowd in attendance at the Luzhniki Sports Arena this afternoon, but I'm sure most of the Canadian Embassy staff is here. They entertained Team Canada and members of the media last night at a reception. Here's a chance now for Team USA, and an excellent defensive play as Hoggood came sliding across as Team USA on a 2-on-1 break attempted to center it. And in the crowd today from the Embassy, Bernie Dudka, who is part of the security staff, and his father, Stan Dudka, is looking in back in Nova Scotia. And Bernie says, "Hi, Dad. Everything's fine here in Moscow." Canadian flags and those who have Canadian jerseys wearing them here at the Luzhniki Sports Arena. And while there is a sparse crowd in attendance today, I'm sure it'll be jammed for tomorrow's game between Canada and the Soviet Union. And you'll be able to watch it live coverage on the full CBC television network. Peterson back to the point. McCready takes a shot. It goes off the stick to the corner. Peterson trying to dig it out. Trevor Linden is in there with him. And finally it's cleared out to center ice. Hoggood having some problems there, and good effort on the part of Hoggood to take that puck away from the American player, go in deep, center it, and the pass is knocked down by Team USA, and the Americans start back, but they can't go anywhere with it against the forechecking of Team Canada. DeMaio takes it in against the boards. Mendel holds him in there. They continue the battle for the puck and force a face-off deep in Team USA territory.
Well, we see that Bob Mendel is back, and whatever the injury was, it's been looked after for the Americans. They primarily go with 4 defensemen. We're getting some good direction here again by the head coach, Dave Chambers. He's really into this game now with that 4-2 lead. He doesn't want that emotion to taper off. I've also noticed that both of his assistants usually are both on the bench today. Usually one's up in the stands with the phones done, relating messages.
The two assistants, Ken Hitchcock of the Kamloops Blazers and Jean Begin of Drummondville. While Dave Chambers is the head man, he relies greatly on his assistants for their help in plotting strategy and all other aspects of play here in the World Junior Championship, with Dave Draper doing a big job in scouting the games and using the videotape equipment in preparing the team.
Key person in that personnel, Dave Draper. Very important to the cause of this team.
Desjardins in his own zone gets it over for Laniel. Laniel lead pass for Curry, and Curry tried to stay onside, and in so doing wasn't able to pick up that long lead pass. He at the center ice area was trying desperately to keep his feet onside. We talked about the coaching staff. The man on the left is Ken Hitchcock of the Kamloops Blazers. You see Dave Chambers, the head man, in the middle, and on his right is Jean Begin of Drummondville.
Great compliment. The coaching staff, we have noticed, and I think that we've been with them a lot over here. They really complement each other. They get along very, very well. There's good respect for each other. We were out in the market yesterday with a couple of them, and Jean Begin, better known as Johnny Be Good to all his fans.
Johnny Be Good, the #1 trader. Along the boards, the puck comes back to the point. Joseph with a shot knocked down at the side of the net, and it was almost deflected past Jason Glickman. Back at the point again, it is Joseph. Joseph with another shot deflected wide. Team Canada all over the Americans in this second period. And now bringing it out is Matt Schneider. He got it to the line, and all Donato could do was bang it off the boards and down the ice. And it's whistled down as it was hit with a high stick. 9:33 has gone by in the second period. Canada and the USA at the World Junior Championships in Moscow.
There's a beat in this land. It's there in all we do. That's why hands across the country reach for the blue. And when we get together, there's a turn that's pretty and true. That's why we call the blue. That's why you call for the blue. Yeah, that's why we call the blue. It's time to call for your blue. It's time to call for the blue.
The face-off to the right of Jimmy Waite. Jimmy Waite and Jeff Hackett are the two Canadian goaltenders. Hackett, who plays for the Oshawa Generals, Waite for Chicoutimi, but Waite has played every minute of every game so far for Team Canada. Centering pass just a little too far for Sheldon Kennedy, and back comes Team USA. Lead pass ahead to Roenick. Roenick is tied up by Hoggood. The puck goes back to the net. Sakic couldn't move it. Team USA trying to center it. It's loose in front of the net. Here's another opportunity. It's blocked by Hoggood. Another shot. This one knocked down by Warren Babe, who breaks out with Sheldon Kennedy. That Hoggood has played a solid game for Team Canada. Centered. Babe couldn't get a shot away. It goes back to the net and is picked up by Team USA. The Americans led in across the line by Joe Day. Jimmy Waite stops it back to the net. McCready gives it to Hoggood, and Hoggood starts back as the Americans make a change. Flipped high into the neutral zone. Trevor Linden picks it up. Linden puts on the brakes. Canada making a change. He waits for his mates to catch up. A shot, and the save off the stick of Mark Peterson. Peterson doing some good hitting in that Team USA zone. Gets it out to Linden. He couldn't get a shot away. Now Peterson tries. He's upset. The puck's still loose. And finally it's taken back to the net by Scheifele. Around the boards, the Americans nudge it out into the center ice area. Stopped by Team Canada, and a whistle as it's offside. Peterson was trapped in the American zone. Jeff Hackett, the backup goaltender, with a stopwatch at that Canadian bench. What's he doing, Sherry?
Well, it's very, very basic. The coaching staff want 30-second shifts. And when the shifts change and it's on the 30-second clock, that's one of his jobs there to pay attention and be on top of that, because they want those guys out. This is a tough game emotionally, a tough tournament emotionally, and they don't want them tired unnecessarily.
Well, even though he hasn't played, Jeff Hackett very much involved in this World Junior Tournament.
And he understands that there's a hot goaltender when you're in a...
Well, Fleury got that centering pass, had a little difficulty controlling it as he tried to slide it past Jason Glickman, and Glickman was fortunate that he was able to make the save.
Well, I'll tell you something, you don't, when you give Fleury this kind of an opportunity, just loses really control of the puck. He goes to deke the goalie and it went a little bit too far. He'll be getting ribbing about that, but he'll be ribbing himself because he had such a good opportunity.
Jason Glickman, the goaltender, and Matt Schneider, the defenseman, two of the Team USA players who perform in junior leagues in Canada, and Schneider, who is with the Cornwall Royals, is scoring a lot of points.
Well, he certainly is. He's from right near Providence, Rhode Island, 6 foot 190, and I'll tell you, he's
And there's a penalty assessed against Glickman for high sticking, and that call after the whistle, so the Canadian team will have a power play as Kevin Dean will serve the high sticking minor assessed against Jason Glickman, and he must be feeling a little frustrated. He has certainly had a lot of work in the first two periods.
He certainly will, and there's a little bit of a delay because who has to serve the penalty must be a player that was on the ice when that infraction occurred, and the U.S. bench wasn't even aware of it. It's the kind of penalty, though, that you don't like to take. It's what we call those unnecessary reaction penalties, and the American team now has to hold on.
Something else we should point out, that in World Junior competition, regulations require all players wear a full face shield. Some wear the masks, some wear the protective glass shield, and I'm sure for many of these players it takes a little adjusting to.
For sure, as we get a real good shot of that. They're used to the half mask and just the eye shield.
Hoggood in the slot, a shot that's deflected wide.
This is kind of a power play. I don't like to talk about it this early in the game, but when it's 4-2, if you go ahead 5-2, it's the old backbreaker kind of thing.
Medano serving the penalty. He was one of the players on the ice when that high sticking call was assessed against Glickman. At the line, Joseph was unable to keep it in, and it slides back into the Canadian zone. Joseph has spent a lot of time here in the Soviet Union. He was over here with Dave King's Olympic team, winners of the Izvestia Championship and the gold medal. He has the opportunity to head home with a couple of gold medals if he can help this Canadian junior squad win the world title. Back of the net. Rob Brown and Dan Curry poking away at it, trying to get it away from Randy Skarda. It comes loose to Hoggood, racing in, a shot saved by Glickman. Hoggood came roaring in from the point, got fed that perfect pass, but Glickman came across to make the save.
One of the things we talk about with Joseph is that the players got new luggage to come over here. You know, we still use our old luggage. They got beautiful new luggage. He may just have to use his luggage for all his medals, possibility of all his medals this year.
Well, there are some interesting possibilities if he should go back to the Olympic team and join Dave King and company in Calgary in February. Hoggood driving for the net, out front, and that pass slid off a skate and hit the side of the net. It didn't get through as Hoggood had anticipated, but it almost went in nonetheless. Along the boards, Curry gets it into Brown. He tried to center it, intercepted by Team USA and fired down the ice. Canada making a change as Chris Joseph comes back to Theron Fleury. DeMaio going for the net. Fleury drops it off for Mark Laniel. Laniel back to the other point. Joseph with a shot, he scores! Chris Joseph with a low blast along the ice. And it's jubilation time at that Canadian bench with a 3-goal lead.
Well, you'll notice that some of these goals have been consistent right along the ice. Like Laniel spots them. A great job by Laniel. He spots them wide open and right along the ice inside the corner. I mean, those are tough to handle at any time. And the Jason Glickman's got nobody to look at but himself because he took a behind the play penalty right along the ice. A great hard shot. And now it's 5-2, and Canada's got to be thinking, hey, we got a good lead here. The only thing that can hurt them now is to get too offensive and forget about the other end.
Chris Joseph, a native of Burnaby, BC, played his junior hockey with Seattle. and was Pittsburgh's #1 draft choice before being acquired in that trade with Edmonton as part of the Paul Coffey deal. Babe back to the line. Desjardins was unable to keep it in, and racing back after it is Mark Laniel. 5-2, Canada leading. That power play goal, his first of the tournament by Chris Joseph from Laniel. Canada has scored 2 power play goals in the tournament, 12:06 the time of the goal. And Canada has totally dominated the American squad in this second period. Canada had much the better of the play in the first as well, but not good scoring chances. In the second, they have corrected that problem. They have had the scoring opportunities. Emma in across the line, looking back to the point. There is nobody in position, and the puck is knocked into the corner by Dean. Now it's Scheifele at the side of the net trying to move out. He couldn't, and Team Canada brings it out into the center ice area. Loose along the board, Sakic dumps it in, but as he touched it, the whistle goes on a 2-line pass against Team Canada. And I think we're also going to have a penalty here against Team Canada. It will be Mark Laniel going off, a roughing call, and it took place right there.
Yes, he's right there on top of it. Mark Laniel would take too many, just set up a big goal, which I thought was really good the way he read. Saw Joseph, everybody went to him, and now he's going to sit it out for 2 minutes and see what happens. Now, if there was ever a time for the Americans, and this is so obvious, I hate to even talk about it, and they better do something right here. It's not only a question of getting in and getting a goal, it's a getting in and start to dominate a little bit, start to take some control.
5:45 is the time remaining in the second period. 5-2, Team Canada leads. If Canada wins, it will be a gold medal showdown tomorrow against the Soviet Union. A race for a loose puck. Recchi going after it. Modano is back. Recchi going around and going for the net, and sliding out of the net to knock it away is Jason Glickman. Nice move by Recchi, but Glickman came way out of his net to knock it off his stick. Modano, who scored a goal in that opening period, playing the point in the power play, shooting it in. Donato was unable to keep it in, and Adam Graves starts back looking for Recchi. Couldn't get the pass over to him. Graves brings it back into his own zone, killing off time before dumping it down the ice. 1:10 remaining in the penalty to Mark Laniel. Canada in front by a score of 5-2. Pass in the wing to Sullivan, a shot right on, and it's held by Jimmy Waite. 1:02 remaining in the penalty. The United States on the power play in the World Junior Championships here at the Luzhniki Sports Arena.
In all the frozen and faraway places, at all the lonely hours, day or night, there's a Tony Thompson striving to push a black puck on white ice toward the goal. Esso retailers are involved in hockey from beginners to Olympians, for all the Tonys and Michaels and Lindas, because service to the community doesn't stop at the gas pump.
Jimmy Waite has played extremely well for Team Canada throughout the tournament. One weak goal, actually, and that was the tying goal against Waite in the contest against Finland. But it was Jimmy Waite who actually kept Team Canada in that game against the Finns. Unfortunately for Waite, he had that one rather weak goal. But I guess every goaltender is entitled to 1 or 2 of them. Canada bringing it out into the center ice area and dumping it down the ice. Canada with 4-2 wins over Czechoslovakia and Sweden, and a 4-4 tie against Finland. Now in across the line goes Schneider. He fires it in deep. Haga around the boards, but Turcotte keeps it in. Back to the line. Roenick over to the other side to Schneider. Schneider trying to center it. Haga slides across. He covers up. And still no whistle. He's on top of the puck. Finally, on his knees, he bangs it off the end boards as they were whacking away at it.
What's that rule about a puck being out of sight?
Now Miller back to the line, and a whistle on the play. Another penalty coming up here, and against Team Canada's Scott McGrady. Just 3 seconds remaining in the penalty to Mark Laniel, And he's joined in the penalty box by defenseman Scott McGrady. So for 3 seconds, Dave Chambers and Jean Begin will see their team 2 men short with the face-off in the Canadian zone.
A little bit of frustration. I think Hoggett was waiting for a whistle. I think he was on the puck for an hour and a half. But apparently the referee wants to keep the puck in play, and they're even talking about that right now. I see where he gets it coming into the corner there and makes that shot. Now, the Americans now literally have 4 minutes of power play. They were like, they didn't have any pressure whatsoever. They had 1 shot on net, and they're never going to score from there on Jimmy Waite. They better do something here.
Well, Laniel is back on the ice as it's dumped down into the American zone. And the Americans still on the power play with McGrady in the penalty box. Pass intercepted in the neutral area by Sakic. He dumps it in. He and Theron Fleury are out there killing penalties for Team Canada. Fleury steals it, looking for Sakic out in front of the net. Sakic anticipated that he was going to come out the other side, and the pass was behind him. Jimmy Waite, way out of his net, plays it in against the boards, picked up there by Fleury. He and Sakic break out. Sakic from the Swift Current Broncos in across the line, lets the shot go, it's wide. And there's a penalty here against Team USA. Wayne McBean was hauled down in his own zone, well behind the play. And with 1:08 remaining in the penalty to McCready, Team USA will have Ted Donato going to the penalty box. We have 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second period. Canada leading by a score of 5-2.
Dumb penalty. Dumb penalty to take. You got a power play. Takes the puck was literally 2 zones away, and you can be sure that the American coach is not going to be happy about Ted Donato's penalty there. It was a reaction. It was retaliatory, and it was away behind the play. And I think it's a lot of its frustration, because they've had a power play for a long time and had really no chances.
Adam Graves back into his own zone to Laniel. Laniel gets it ahead to Desjardins. He was looking for Recchi, a little too far for him. And Chris Miller for the American squad dumps it the length of the ice, and going back after it is Laniel, who plays for the Oshawa Generals. On the left side to Graves, to Recchi. Recchi puts on the brakes. 2 squads playing 4-on-4, and in 36 seconds, Team Canada will have a power play. Laniel at the point, unable to keep it in. He has to retreat into the neutral zone to let his mates get back on side. Canada in front by a score of 5-2. Recchi unable to pick up the pass. Desjardins following, dumps it into the zone as Canada makes a change. 14 seconds remaining in the penalty to Scott McCready, and then a power play opportunity for Team Canada. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Canada leading 5-2. Canada scoring 3 unanswered goals in this second period. They got off to the great start in the second period as Theron Fleury, the team captain, scored just 12 seconds into the period. Canada now with a power play, 39 seconds remaining, almost catching the Americans on a change there, but the pass bounced away from Rob Brown. Now Dan Curry gets it back to the line to Hoggett, back to Curry. Curry tried to slide it into the corner to Rob Brown. It comes loose. Curry gets it again, back to Hoggett, to Curry. Curry to Brown. Brown tried to center it. He was checked. The puck goes loose, and underneath Chris Miller, they jam away at it, and the whistle goes with 11 seconds remaining in the penalty and 1 minute and 6 seconds in the period.
Well, we noticed that the exposure and what Canada is very proud to host, the Olympics of '88 in Calgary, and there it is, proudly displayed on the Canadian jerseys, and everybody, the whole country's excited about that, and especially in the sport of hockey after Canada wins the Izvestia right here in this city just a few weeks ago.
And of course, as we walk around the streets of Moscow, as do members of Team Canada, with toques bearing the Olympic Games crest, many offers to make trades and swap articles of clothing for those Calgary Olympic toques.
We have a number of the team members that can qualify as bargaining agents back home, as a matter of fact. But, you know, speaking about the Soviet television, they tell me tomorrow's game will be widely watched throughout the country on Soviet television.
They're anticipating an audience in excess of 100 million watching that game tomorrow on Soviet television. And, of course, we'll have live coverage on CBC television in Canada. What could be a gold medal game. Team USA back at full strength. Canada's McBean has to wait in the center ice area before dumping it in, as Rob Brown had been trapped deep in the Team USA zone and was upset in the corner. And as it was dumped in, Brown was trapped offside. Just 35 seconds remaining in the period. Canada leading 5-2. Goals in this second period by Theron Fleury, Rob Brown, and Chris Joseph. The goal by Joseph coming on the power play. The second power play goal of the game for Team Canada. They have capitalized on 2 of 3 opportunities.
It'll be just a question of killing that clock off and not doing anything stupid out there.
Desjardins circling in his own zone, but there's going to be a penalty here against Warren Babe. He was battling along the boards with C.J. Young, and
it's going off for tripping, according to the referee, and it's not, no matter what the score is, it's not the kind of penalty you want to take, and Warren knows that better than anyone else. It's very, very simple that when you're sitting there with 26 seconds to go in the period, you just want to get the period over, especially with that 5-2 lead.
Well, Warren Babe, of course, was involved in an incident in the National Hockey League this year with Patrick Waugh of the Montreal Canadiens. Babe playing for the Minnesota North Stars, a slashing incident that resulted in a suspension for the Montreal goaltender. That was on October the 19th.
We can't pull that on you then in Trivial Pursuit. I mean, you know some of that stuff too well.
Day in the corner. 22 seconds remaining in the period. Couldn't control the puck, and Sakic dumps it the length of the ice. I've been impressed throughout the tournament with the penalty killing of this Canadian team.
That's for sure. They don't have to work on it either in practice. They've had enough time at it.
Of course, they've had a lot of players in the penalty box, and as we said, in this tournament, as the result of last year's incident, they have been under close scrutiny. So that ends the second period here at the Luzhniki Sports Arena. Canada in control of this game. 3 second period goals for a 5-2 lead. And our coverage of this World Junior Championship will continue. Our second period intermission after this.
Pierre Lambert takes on the Russians.
Pierre, I want to defend.
And the only game hotter than hockey is the game Pierre plays off the ice.
Where are you going dressed like that? Isn't that the way you like your women?
It's a hot new season. Hot enough to melt the ice. He shoots, he scores. Best on the Box, January 9th on CBC television.
Welcome back to the Luzhniki Sports Arena in Moscow. Canada leading the United States 5-2 after 40 minutes of play. And right now, let's join from CBC Radio, Jerry Fogarty and a special guest.
Jody Howell is a native of Cambridge, Ontario, but is a member of the Peterborough Petes of the Ontario Hockey League. And with a 3-goal period for Team Canada, Jody, you seem to own that one.
Yeah, we come out after the first period. We were a little shaky at the start. We weren't taking the body. They come out really hard at the first, and we're taking our body, and sort of got us off our game. But we regrouped in the second period here and come out and started skating. And once we can skate and take the body with any team here, I think we're capable of winning.
Pressure seemed to be a factor there, Jody. I mean, you seem to wear the American players down. They were sagging a bit toward the end of the period.
Yeah, like I said, they come out flying in the first, and whenever a team does that, usually their momentum starts to decrease as the game goes on, and we come out really slow, and we had lots of energy left, and we just come out here in the second period and put that extra pressure to them. We got one right off the bat, right off the face-off, and that really helped emotionally for our team, and just kept carrying out the rest of the period.
Was it difficult to put that tie with the Finns behind you, to forget about it?
Yeah, we had to. This game's really important, both in the tournament and as a thing back in North America too. But the tie was just one of those things. Every team usually doesn't go through the tournament without a loss or a tie or that. But the tie was just like a victory for us. It still kept us in the out of the loss column, and that'll help going into tomorrow's game also.
Well, in a sense, it's been said that this game is for the silver medal, but then again, there's a danger there to think that Canada would have the silver locked up with a victory here today.
Yeah, but we got one game left that's really important. That's against the Soviets. Everyone knows that. But if we can win today, everyone figures we got the silver wrapped up with our last few games against the Germans and Poland.
But really, it's beating the Soviets. That's what you came here to do, and it's still the objective.
Yeah, first is beating the States here this afternoon, and then taking it to the Soviets tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Jody Howell. Continued good luck to you.
Thanks.
Jody Howell of the Peterborough Petes. Now back to Don and Cherry.
Well, Jerry, this is definitely a different Canadian team than we witnessed 2 nights ago in the contest against Finland. Would you agree, Sherry?
Oh, there's no question about it. You know, you and I sat up and watched that whole game against Finland, and, you know, nothing seemed to work, and they didn't seem to be emotionally in it. They've had total control here. I mean, I don't want to say things like the lights would have to go out, because we're a little nervous about saying those things now. But literally, the lights would have to go out for this game to get turned around. I mean, we'd really have to see some breakdown. I don't think they can score 4 goals, you know, on that goaltender of ours in there in one period unless there's a complete breakdown. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, it's a silly thing to say, but they have had such control. They've had possession of the puck almost constantly. Even on the power plays and the penalties they've killed off, there's been no threat. They had 1 shot in a 4-minute power play episode there where it was a harmless shot. I mean, you know, they're not going to score on you and me on those, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not so sure about me, but I know they wouldn't score on you, Sheriff. Anyway, in the 3rd period, Canada, I think, will have to play much the same style. They can't sit back. They have to continue going at them.
Precisely. They gotta go with what's been going for them. And sometimes we have a tendency in a real hard-fought game. If you got up against the Soviets like that and went into a disciplined style of real back, you know, laying back and playing defensively, they could pot a couple on you. And so you can't afford to do that against anyone. But what I'm saying is that, hey, they've had control. It isn't just a question of being up 5-2 and getting a couple of breaks. They could literally be up a number of goals. Let's make no mistake of that. Even though the Americans had a couple of good scoring chances, you alluded to it, is that Canada's had the puck all the time.
Well, if Canada does hold on and win this game, they lead at 5-2. It will be a gold medal game tomorrow against the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union has a key game coming up this evening against Sweden, and the Swedes, beaten 4-2 by Canada, have always proven troublesome for the Soviet Union.
Always. It's a funny thing about that Swede team, and I think, though, that most of the European teams want to get up against the Soviets. You know, it's not just a unique clash between the Canucks and the Soviets. 20 minutes from now, when this period's over, there's going to be some high emotion. You know it. We'll be around the team. We'll be able to feel it. CBC carrying it live to Canada. It's going to be live in the Soviet Union. I mean, there's over 100 million people going to watch it here. It is going to be some kind of, with both teams already suspended from last year, that'll be a confrontation that we're all excited about.
Well, the game between Canada and the Soviet Union tomorrow, a highlight of this year's World Junior Championship. And, of course, we'll have live coverage of that game on the full CBC television network for you tomorrow, New Year's Day. It's 5-2 after 40 minutes of play here at the Luzhniki Sports Arena, and we'll return with the final period of this game between Canada and the United States after this message.
We're fighting for the survival of the human race.
I want to thank you for believing in the potential of disabled persons.
Bankers all over the world would have their worst nightmares come true.
At 10 o'clock, the news really hits home. The National, the Journal on CBC television, best on the box.
You're his real son. I'm just the bozo he adopted who can't get anything right.
So Scott goes out on the street and into trouble. Brothers by Choice, a movie special, Sunday.
This term, mature and responsible.
It's an all-new semester at Degrassi Junior High.
Nice bacon. I just want to talk.
There's nothing to say.
And there are some very important lessons to be learned.
Why can't we be friends like before?
I wasn't pregnant before.
Degrassi Junior High, Monday. The Beatles' legendary album, the spirit of a social, sexual, musical revolution.
There was a great upsurge of energy and consciousness.
Did it change the world? An anniversary special, best on the box, tonight.
CBC's putting on the Ritz in a New Year's celebration with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in top hat. And special coverage of Countdown 88 live from Ottawa tonight over most stations.
On our final program for this season, we revisit some of the special people and places of rural Canada. Join us on Out Your Way, Thursday at 7:30.
Like life after 50, the best years just keeps getting better and better.
7 o'clock Fridays on CBC television beginning January 8th.
The two teams are back in the ice for the start of the third period. Canada in front 5-2, 3 unanswered second period goals. Just 12 seconds into the period, team captain Theron Fleury with his third goal of the competition at 3:16. Rob Brown with his third goal, and then at 13:06, a power play tally by Chris Joseph. Canada totally dominating the second period. We don't have the shots on goal, but I would suggest a wide margin favoring Team Canada. Jimmy Waite really didn't have too much work in that second period.
Not really. As a matter of fact, if there's ever a problem that could develop is that he hasn't felt the puck at all. He doesn't know, really that it was such domination. Although the Americans have a power play now, and for a minute and 35 seconds, it'll be an example when you got a cold goaltender, that's the time to get a couple of shots on him.
Warren Babe still in the penalty box. A late tripping call assessed against the Canadian player. Team USA trying to get back into the game, and they could do it with a goal quickly on this power play opportunity, and they do. Miller with his second goal of the game as he broke in on the right side and took that feed, and it's 5-3.
Wow. It was control of the puck, and actually it was a fine play. They moved the puck. Jimmy Waite had to come across. Now you'll take a look. He comes into the slot. Somebody's right there to drill it from the side. Nobody reads the man coming in. They got that extra man there. Get a look at it again. A nice feed out there, and it's in the corner for Mike Sullivan, who gets his second. Or Kip Miller, I'm sorry about that. Kip Miller, who gets his second goal of the game.
Just 16 seconds into the period, Canada bringing it in across the line. It's offside. Well, Canada was inspired by a goal just 12 seconds into the second period. Will it have the same effect on Team USA in the third?
Well, we'll find out, because we could get mud on our face here by saying about that could be a problem for the Canadians, thinking that it's only a two-period game.
Miller's second goal, his second of the tournament, second of the game. Davidson drawing the assist. A nice feed from Davidson on that power play tally. Play broken up at the Canadian line. Back comes Team Canada. Adam Graves trying to drop it back to Recchi to the point, and the shot is deflected just wide. Wayne McBean from the point, looking towards the net. A shot doesn't get through. McBean gets it again, back to the point. Joseph with a low shot, that just goes wide. Recchi manages to keep it in. In the corner, Rob Brown gets it back to Joseph at the point. Joseph having some problems trying to keep it in, and it's whistled down as he gloved it ahead. And the face-off will take place outside the Team USA blue line.
Well, now there's a little bit of a discussion there between the head coach and the goaltender, and saying, hey, are we keeping track of those things? We mentioned about his job on those 30-second times, and he's got to understand that when you're the backup goaltender, they want you in the game as much as possible.
You're referring to Jeff Hackett of the Oshawa Generals, the backup goaltender to Jimmy Waite on this World Junior Championship team. 1:10 has gone by in the third period. It's a 5-3 game. Canada in front. Hoggett back into his own zone. 2 power play goals for Team USA. Here's another opportunity, but that pass from C.J. Young intended for Medano was intercepted, or Medano was in all alone. Back comes Donato. He has Medano with him. C.J. Young trailing the play. Donato attempted to go around defenseman Greg Hoggett. He couldn't. The puck loose back to the net, and Hoggett, who has played an extremely strong game, in my opinion, for Canada, gets it up on the wing, and it's fired down the ice by Jody Hull.
Well, there's no question he certainly has. And I think the Americans, this game's all of a sudden a little bit closer when you get a goal that early, Don.
Donato shoots it in, then he goes to the bench on a change. It's left back of the net for Desjardins to Trevor Linden. Linden coming down the right side. He takes a hit from Chris Miller. It goes loose. DeMaio back of the net for Linden. Linden circling in the corner, looking for someone to pass to. Gets it back out to Peterson, back to Linden. Linden cross ice to Laniel, I should say, and he fired it high. He was racing in from the point. Desjardins with a shot right on. The big rebound brought out by Turcotte. Turcotte with a head of steam as he comes in across the line, tries to split the defense, and the puck slides through to goaltender Jimmy Waite. He covers up for a face-off.
Well, a little bit of really no shot on net because Jimmy Waite is right there for it, but they came back. Again, the Canadians all over the U.S. net, literally all over the net with some shots, and they came down just to clear it. Turcotte's got some speed. Now take a look at when he breaks out of there. He's got some control, and he's going to force that defenseman. Watch him move the puck and bring it back. If he could just get through there, but the defense come across, and bango, they freeze the puck.
At the side of the Canadian net, McBean for Team Canada. Looks over to his defensive partner, Chris Joseph, and he almost lost control of it right in front of the net. Now it's brought out by Canada. A long lead pass, too far for Curry. Fleury picks it up along the boards, tried to dump it back into the corner. It finally does come loose to Curry. Curry waiting for someone to get into position, can't find anybody. Fleury comes in to help out. He has it along the boards. Fleury battling along the boards deep in the USA zone. And finally it's dumped out by the Americans, and Chris Joseph goes back after it. 3:14 has gone by in the third. 5-3 is the score. Canada in front. A two-line pass results in a whistle. Our coverage from the World Championships in Moscow continues after this message.
To challenge the world's best luxury sedans takes exceptional comfort and superior performance. To deliver all this for thousands less, this is the Mazda 929 luxury sedan.
This is the Mazda way.
Most warranties cover powertrain only. Mazda's warranty is bumper to bumper for 3 years or 80,000 kilometers, and all major components for 5 years or 100,000 kilometers. The 88 Mazda warranty, the best in the business.
Face-off in the neutral zone. Mike Murray, who is the public relations director for Team Canada, keeping stats for us, pointing out that Canada won the majority of face-offs in the opening period and in the second. And they've done a pretty good job here in the third already. In across the line goes Fleury. He tried to drop it back. He was being harassed there by Rob Mandel and couldn't feed it back cleanly. Davidson brings it in, fakes the shot, backhand, and he fired that high. Recchi bumped along the boards. Loose puck picked up by Davidson. Backhand shot saved by Jimmy Waite. The Americans coming to life here, inspired, I'm sure, by that power play goal just 16 seconds into the third. And now it's Team Canada firing it out to relieve the pressure.
They sure are. They certainly aren't quitting in any means, they'll tell you that. And it's pretty obvious here.
Davidson shoots it in as Desjardins goes back into his own zone. The Americans on a change. Sheldon Kennedy dumped it off, intended for Sakic. Intercepted by Miller to Modano. Modano going back of the net. He can score, make no mistake about that, as he displayed on the second goal of the game for Team USA. The Americans keeping it in. Laniel along the boards. Couldn't move it. Sheldon Kennedy gets it, looking in front, or lost it, comes in front, and Jimmy Waite manages to cover up as that point-blank shot came off the stick of Modano.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, if that isn't a big-time save, and Mike Modano will be talking to himself here. I'm not even sure Jimmy saw the puck, but he's there. He certainly is there. He reads the play all the way, and it's a great pickup by our crew here to see that Mike Modano, who can put that puck in the net, as we've seen him already do, and Jimmy Waite, who reads the play and goes right across the net to make the play. That's a big save because it's 5-4 before we say hello.
McBean in his own zone. Off the boards for Linden. Linden gets it ahead to Rob DeMaio. DeMaio working to the corner, still has it, looking out front. Can't find anybody. Now goes back to the goal to Peterson. Peterson is tied up along the boards. Scheifele gets it to the line and out. They battle in front of that Team USA bench. That puck's still loose at the line. Linden comes in trying to force it in along the boards. Finally it does come out into the neutral zone, And Chris Joseph has to wait for his teammates to get onside before he brings it in. Centering it, and DeMaio couldn't get a stick on it, and Team USA starts back. Shifley couldn't control the puck. It's loose in the neutral zone. Peterson picks it up for Team Canada. Peterson working to the line. Canada making a change. Peterson shoots it into the corner, trying to control it there in a battle with Miller, and then a whistle, and there's going to be a penalty here against Team USA. There could be
a double here.
Double penalties. Peterson and Shifley, and I think there are going to be 2 penalties against the Americans, 1 against Team Canada.
Yeah, there could be a charging here and then a roughing. That's good. I think you could have a point there, Don. I mean, it's a matter of fact, that's precisely what we're going to see. That's that your eagle eye again. I didn't realize that your eyes were that good, but they certainly are, and you haven't been eating many carrots over here, so I give you a lot of credit.
Keen observation as a result of constant sightseeing and leading you around the streets of Moscow. So 2 United States players go off. It is Shifley and Chris Miller and Mark Peterson going off for Canada. Those penalties, the result of the aggressive work by Peterson as he was trying to control that puck in the USA zone as Team Canada was making a line change.
Absolutely, and it's just constant weight on the puck, constant determination. Now, it's interesting in this big ice surface, we get a 4-on-3 for a full 2 minutes.
Fleury back to the line to Hoggood. Hoggood takes the shot. Big rebound as Glickman made the save. Fleury. Glickman down. He tried to feed it across to Brown, and it was behind him. Fleury looking for Brown. Couldn't get it to him. Gets it back to the point, and it got away from Joseph. And Team Canada has to go back into its own zone. Dumped in. Glickman plays it off the glass and out. Miller going off for Team USA. Shifley for the USA and Peterson for Canada at 5:45. Now it's there in Fleury. Back to the point for Joseph. Joseph lost control of it, and it's dumped down the ice by Mike Sullivan.
Well, with this large ice surface that we talked about, there's so much area to move in. They've been moving the puck, and it was really a slip by Joseph that they lost control of it. They're going to get it in deep. They'll drive in with it.
Fleury back to the line to Hoggood. Hoggood is allowed to move in. At the side of the net, he was looking for Rob Brown, and it was knocked away from him and brought out by Schneider. He simply dumps it into the corner. 33 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Back comes Rob Brown. Brown to Hoggood, fakes the shot, over on the wing, and it bounced away from Desjardins. Back to Hoggood. Hoggood dumps it in to Fleury. These players have been out here for almost the full 2 minutes. Fleury tried to center it, and it was held at the side of the net by Glickman. Just 11 seconds remaining in the penalties, 3 of them going off at the same time. Miller and Shifley for Team USA and Peterson for Canada.
The real frustration, Don, is early in that penalty when Fleury drew the goaltender and threw it across the open net, and the puck couldn't get tipped in, just couldn't get to it. And then from then on, they didn't get really good. They had chances, but the puck really wasn't on the net. Now it's just a question of the Americans killing that 11 seconds on, and this is the time. With Joe Sakic going to take the face-off, this is a key time to win a face-off.
Laniel and Desjardins are back on the points. Curry is out there with Sakic. Sakic gets the draw, blacks back to Laniel. Laniel gets it over to Curry. Curry over to the wing to Desjardins, who came racing into Curry, and he fired it high. Beautiful feed as Desjardins split it across, and Curry's blast went over top of the net. Fired into the Canadian zone. Jimmy Waite plays it into the corner. It comes loose. A shot right on off the stick of Shifley, who came out of the penalty box to get involved in the play. Now it's dumped down the ice, and Chris Miller goes back for Team USA. He fires at the length of the ice, and this will produce an icing call against Team USA with 8:17 gone by in the third period. We'll be back in Moscow in just a moment.
If the SO No Trouble gasoline now helps you get away from gas line freeze-up and in cold, damp weather, stalling and rough idling, why get caught without it?
The face-off to the right of Jason Glickman in goal for Team USA. Rob DeMaio moves into the face-off circle against Mike Modano. He gets the draw back to the point to McBean. McBean into the corner to Graves. Graves goes back to the net to DeMaio. He tries to center it, and Glickman covers up at the side of the net. 8:26 remaining. Glickman is an interesting story. He plays with Hull, the Hull Olympics, and that team, of course, is owned by number 99, the scoring star of the Edmonton Oilers, and it was a phone call. Glickman was telling me that from the big man himself, Wayne Gretzky, that persuaded him to join the Hull team.
Yeah, I remember they said there's nothing wrong with that. No, I said if there is, let them call and send them to our team.
You're, of course, referring to the team that you manage in the Ontario Hockey League, the Oshawa Generals. Along the boards, Mike Modano dumps it into the Canadian zone. Brought back out by Recchi. Recchi over to DeMaio. He couldn't do anything with it, and Modano comes back for Team USA. Modano with a slap shot. That goes off the stick of Scott McCready and up into the stands. Dave Chambers, the head coach of Team Canada. And wherever you're looking in on this New Year's Eve, we'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of our French confrères to wish you all a very happy New Year from Moscow. We'll be celebrating a little sooner than the folks in Canada. Some of the time zones make it a 7, 8, 9, 10, and even 11-hour difference. And another half hour if you're in Newfoundland.
Yes, and what day is it, by the way? Since I appreciate that you literally lose track of time when you're changing these zones like we're doing. I always see a little direction there and a little by the USA coach and very specifically Terry Christensen and from Michigan State, who's an assistant there, saying, hey, guys, we got to get one here, and it's 5-4, and you never know what happens.
Terry Christensen, previously an assistant to Ron Mason at the, or I should say Peterson at the World Junior Championships. He is an assistant to Ron Mason at Michigan State. That puck slides in and is covered up by Jason Glickman. And you see the Canadian coaching staff, and in the middle, the team doctor, Dr. Mark Aubry from Ottawa. And he was telling us that he's quite relieved that so far he has had no serious problems to contend with. And that's one of the big things at the World Junior Championship, where your roster is limited.
That's exactly right. That's a good point that we should make to the viewing public. You name 20 players at the beginning, and if 5 get hurt, you play with 15. So a team doctor is important. He's also been involved, very involved with the nutrition of the team and what they should be eating.
Loose puck in that Team USA zone, kept in at the line. Fleury feeds it back to Jody Hull. He was looking for Curry. It's intercepted by Chris Miller. Up on the wing to Kip Miller, and now to Davidson, and Davidson couldn't move in with it, but there's going to be a penalty here against the United States, or the Canadian team, and another United States power play with just 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third period. Ken Hitchcock, the 36-year-old head coach of the Kamloops Blazers, one of the assistant coaches here with Team Canada, as Jody Hull goes off to the box. And this penalty probably the result of Hull being trapped in deep on that Canadian scoring opportunity.
Exactly. Threw the pass and was breaking, and he got up the ice, but It's really an interesting setting now, because this is an important power play for the Americans, obviously, an important shorthanded situation for the Canadians.
Turcotte in the face-off circle. They get the draw back to the point. Schneider couldn't get a good shot away. He tried to slide it in, but it was intercepted by the Canadians and fired the length of the ice. 5-3 is the score. Darren Turcotte tried to flip it off, and it was almost intercepted by Recchi. Now it's Roenick in across the line. Dumped it into the corner, but a Team Canada player got there first and cleared the zone.
You know, you just mentioned Mark Recchi. I really enjoy his role on the team, and every coach or manager, his work ethic. Mark Recchi, just, you know, from Kamloops, he just works so hard. It's a credit to see.
Schneider's shot blocked and brought out by Canada. A lead pass for Adam Graves. He scored a big shorthanded goal against Czechoslovakia in front, looking for Recchi, and it didn't get through as it was deflected by Glickman. Here's Kip Miller in across the line. A screen shot blocked in front, back to the point. Schneider moving in. A shot, big save by Waite. The rebound. It's loose in front of the net, and here's an opportunity for Turcotte, and he fires it high. Jimmy Waite was out of position. Turcotte got it, but he fired it high. The puck was up on end. Jimmy Waite with a couple of big saves after Canada came close in a short-handed try.
Absolutely. Very easily could have been 5-4 right there.
35 seconds remaining in the penalty. Here's a loose puck picked up by DeMaio. A shot, big rebound. Rob DeMaio back of the net, trying to move out front. He's checked. DeMaio goes flying, loses a stick in the process with 22 seconds remaining in the penalty. Roenick is stopped at the line. The loose puck, the rebound at the side of the net. They jam away, and Team Canada gains control and loses it again. Roenick at the side of the net. They score! 5-4. A perfect feed from Roenick cross ice. And Team USA is right back in it. I think it was Donato who pulled the trigger as Canada had possession but couldn't clear against Roenick.
Absolutely clear possession of the puck and held onto it instead of getting rid of it. And he delivers it on a one-timer right up in the upper corner. Jimmy Waite had just made a couple of big saves for them.
Ted Donato getting that shot in the circle, and Jimmy Waite had no chance. And with 11:42 remaining, Dave Chambers has every reason to be concerned. His team held a 3-goal lead. It has dwindled to 1. And there is still plenty of time for Team USA. Offside at the Canadian line. We'll be back with more of this third period coverage from the World Junior Championships in Moscow.
Team Chrysler is driving to be the best in value with $750 cash back on new 88s and remaining 87s direct from Chrysler, Dodge Lancers, new LeBaron Coupes and GTS, and more. $500 on Canada K, already priced $1,000 less than 86. Ram Tough Dodge trucks, including midsize Dakota and Dodge Ram Charger, plus savings up to $1,100 on option package discounts. For value, choice, and warranty protection, see your Team Chrysler dealer now.
Play just underway. Donato from Roenick, the official on that goal. Donato's third goal of the tournament. 5-4 the score. Curry has it for Canada. As Canada dominated the second period, Team USA has come to life in the third. Sullivan working in against Desjardins. The puck goes back of the net. Jody Hull flips it up on the wing to Curry, who breaks out with Theron Fleury. Fleury moving into the slot area. Takes the shot, and a pad save by Glickman. Back comes Team USA. Day in across the line. Shot saved by Jimmy Waite. He's got it between his pads, and he holds it for a face-off.
Well, as they say, Don, we got ourselves a hockey game here. You know, I mean, maybe everybody was out buying their ice cream already at the end of the second period for the party, and there's, you know, that's the old story about celebrating too early. Give the Americans credit. They didn't quit. And as you pointed out, they got that early goal in the third period. We got ourselves a match here.
5-4 is the score with 8 minutes and 23 seconds remaining.
I have a tough time with that clock, Don. I mean,
well, the clock counts down from 20 rather than up to 20, as we are accustomed to at home. Or I should say counts up to 20 rather than down from 20.
So you got to read the time backwards here.
And now there appears to be some problem. The scoreboard reads 5-3 rather than 5-4. You see the 5-3 score up there. And the announcement now being made that it is indeed 5-4 and not 5-3. I'm sure Team USA is fully aware of what the score is. Puck along the boards, dumped out by Team Canada. Kip Miller knocked it to the line. Rob DeMaio brings it back. DeMaio with a good move. Cutting right up front. Couldn't get a shot away as he cut in front of Jason Glickman, and that rolling puck just wouldn't settle down for him, and he couldn't get the shot away. DeMaio dumps it in as he takes a hit from Scarta, and Team USA, Donato, unable to pick up that long lead pass, bringing it out into the neutral zone, but now here's a chance for C.J. Young. He fires it wide. Loose puck in front of the net, and Team Canada giving it away and playing rather sloppily inside its own zone, but they come back now led by Peterson. He couldn't do anything with it, and Team USA to the attack. Chris Miller shooting it in, and Team USA makes a change. McBean up along the boards for Recchi. Recchi working to the corner against Kip Miller, who has scored 2 goals. Loose in the corner, poked free by Team USA. Unable to get out is Emma, as McBean had pinched in from the point. Round the other side, into the corner for Adam Graves. Adam Graves looking across ice. McBean in from the point, centering it. Nobody there, and it's taken to the boards by Rob Mendel. He ties Recchi up. The puck loose in the corner, and Davidson has it for Team USA. The puck rides up along the dasher, and there's going to be a penalty here against Team USA as they attempted to take that puck off the dasher, and in the process, Wayne McBean was decked. So Canada will have a manpower advantage, and going to the penalty box is David Emma, and that comes with 5 minutes and 34 seconds left to play in the third.
Well, you know, that puck going around the net, we see it. There's no question he's got the stick up and hits him a good one. But the rinks are constructed, not specifically the end boards or the way the glass is. We don't have that. The glass is usually flush. And David Emma will now sit out 2 minutes, and it could be a key penalty. It'll be interesting to see what Canada does here.
Canada leading by 1 goal. 5-4 is the score. Hoggett drives it in. Jody Hull picks it up off the boards, leaves it for Fleury. Fleury back to Hull. Over to the point to Desjardins. He couldn't keep it in. Hoggett, rink-wide pass for Hull. He had to wait for Fleury to get back on side. Now for Curry. Curry to Hull. Hull tried to center it for Fleury. It didn't get through. Fleury has it now. He's from the Moose Jaw Warriors. 3 goals in the tournament. Comes back to the line, and again, Desjardins was unable to keep it in. So the Canadian team must regroup. Good penalty killing here on the part of Team USA. Hoggett attempted to flip it across ice to Curry, who was breaking for the net, and it wound up in the equipment of Rob Mendel.
Well, Seals.
Well, you see the time of day on the top. It's 4:39, and the time that has elapsed in the third period, the lower figure, 15:12. And the penalty time remaining has gone off the board. So they are having some problems with the clock, obviously. We're not 1 minute and 10 seconds, we are informed on the public address system, is the time remaining in the penalty to the American player, David Emma.
One of our problems is that we're used to taking a quick glance at the clock, and in 1 second we have to kind of concentrate a little bit more here on.
So the face-off will take place in the Team USA zone. A very small gathering here at the Sports Arena. Back to the line. A shot, and that is deflected wide off the stick of Chris Joseph. Now McBean plays it back of the net. Adam Graves couldn't control it. Comes back to Joseph. Joseph gets it across to McBean. He had to try and set up for that shot. Had to dump it into the corner instead. It's back of the net. Canada trying to get it to the point. It comes to McBean. McBean with a shot. That's deflected wide. From the other point, Chris Joseph moves in for Recchi. Recchi back of the goal, looking out front for someone to pass it to Graves. Graves couldn't jam it in the short side. Recchi gets it again to the line for McBean. To Adam Graves, a shot that hit the side of the net. Graves has it. Graves back of the net. Rob Brown at the side of the goal. It comes to the point. He was looking to the point, but it was intercepted by Sullivan and dumped down the ice. Chris Joseph back of his own goal, and the penalty to David Emma just about over as Recchi drops it for Joseph. Joseph at the side of the net for Rob Brown. Out front, and a shot by Recchi is blocked. It comes to the line as Emma comes out of the penalty box, and we have 3:30 remaining in the third period. Canada hanging on to a 5-4 lead. Joseph unable to keep it out, or keep it in, and Emma brings it out. And it's brought down into the Canadian zone as the Americans fire it in. A centering pass, and it bounces off the stick. Another shot as goaltender Jimmy Waite was caught out of position. A shot from the point by Chris Miller doesn't get through. Canada having problems trying to move it out. Finally, they succeed, and it's dumped back in offside by Team USA. We'll be back right after this.
When you look around, most every place you go, city and country, there's a taste you'll know, and so more and more, each and every day, 'cause good taste draws a crowd. You'll hear people say, my life is blue, it's the true blue taste. Blue Light's the one, Blue Light's the one, look around, Blue Light's the one.
The face-off in the neutral zone, and Team USA came very close to tying it as Jimmy Waite was caught out of position, and fortunately for Team Canada, that puck bounced over the sticks of two U.S. players who were positioned out front. Fleury with a shot that just misses the far corner. Kept in at the point by Laniel. An attempted centering pass by Fleury is broken up by Team USA, and Modana comes back. Working against Jody Hull. He still has it. He dumps it off to Mendel. To Donato. Donato looking out front. He's tied up. The puck is loose, and Team Canada starts back. Peterson on the wing for Curry. For Fleury now. Fleury back of the net. Looking for Jody Hull. The pass didn't get through, and Donato starts back. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third period. Hoggood back in his own zone. Hoggood for Curry. Curry shoots it into the Team USA zone. Canada making a change with 2 minutes remaining now. Day overskates it, but Turcotte picks it up. He stopped at the line for Skarda's shot just wide. Comes back to the point to Skarda. Takes another shot. That's deflected wide. Back of the Canadian goal. Day has it. Looking for Skarda again. Over to Miller. Miller with a shot. It goes wide. Skarda at the other point manages to keep it in. Tried to flip it into the corner, but it was knocked down by Canada and dumped out with a minute and a half left to play. Team USA applying all sorts of pressure here in the third. They trailed 5-2 after 40 minutes, but the Americans have fought back. Jason Glickman looking to that bench now for some sign as to whether or not he should come off if they get the puck down into the Canadian zone. A minute and 9 seconds remaining in the third. It's 5-4 Canada. Fleury after it behind the USA net. Fleury trying to move out. Now gets it back to the net to Curry. Curry moving out, trying to go to his backhand. Couldn't get a shot away. And it's brought out now by David Emma. Still no indication that Glickman is going to go to the bench as the puck is dumped in. And it bounces over the glass and out of play with 46 seconds remaining in the game. 5-4 the score, Canada in front. at the Canadian bench, all the players standing as they are at the Team USA bench. And we have a timeout called as Terry Christensen, the head coach, discusses strategy, and Dave Chambers, the boss man of Team Canada, breathes a bit of a sigh of relief. I'm sure related to that flurry in front of the Canadian goal just a few minutes back when the net was empty. But for the Americans, the puck bounced over their sticks, much to the dismay of head coach Terry Christensen, plotting the strategy for these final 46 seconds.
I think it's a simple thing that he's telling them. They're going to pressure the puck. They've got the extra man. They got to put 2 men on the puck. And the Canadian coaches are saying, listen, Dave Chambers saying, let's not be stupid out here. Let's play good positional hockey. Let's just chip the puck out of trouble. And a 5-4 win at this point in time is just as good as a 6-4. The worst thing we can do is ice the puck.
The face-off will take place just outside the Canadian blue line. The U.S. net is empty. And now there's going to be a delay while goaltender Jimmy Waite readjusts his pads. Doesn't take him very long to do that. So Team USA will have the extra attacker out there with the net empty. Turcotte in the face-off circle against Fleury. Fleury gets the draw back into his own zone. Dumped out into the center ice area. Jody Hull battling along the boards. Theron Fleury comes in to help out as well. They dump it in. Back comes Skarda. Skarda forced in his own zone by Fleury. Dumped up along the boards, picked up there by Kip Miller. He tries to feed it in, gets it back again, and it just went behind Roenick. Kip Miller has it. Back of the net, looking out front. It comes to the line to Skarda. Skarda takes the shot. That's deflected. Knocked down by Jimmy Waite. He had to move alertly, and Joseph bangs it off the glass into the center ice area. Just 10 seconds remaining in the game. The puck in the neutral zone, picked up by Team Canada, fired the length of the ice wide of the USA goal, but that should do it. And that is the hockey game. Canada winning a heart-stopper by a score of 5-4 as the Canadian team appeared to be home free after 40 minutes, in front by a 5-2 margin, but then a quick goal just 16 seconds into the third period got the Americans back into it, and they moved within 1 goal and had pressure on Team Canada over the final few minutes.
Well, I'll tell you, you know what Casey Stengel says, and look at Team Canada's coach. He said, thank God it's over. We hung in there, and that's that simple.
Canada remains undefeated with a 5-4 win over the United States, and we'll be back to continue our coverage from the World Junior Championships in Moscow right after this.
For those who don't know, there's trouble. But for those who do know, there's no trouble. The Esso No Trouble gasoline now reduces gas line freeze-up, and in cold, damp weather, reduces stalling and rough idling.
Want to lift again, Mr. Bill?
Now you know.
Hold on tight.
She's sweet, she's funny, she's attractive. Gloria Steinem calls, makes something up.
Kate and Allie, then.
This term, I'm going to be mature and responsible.
It's an all-new semester at Degrassi Junior High.
Nice bacon. I just want to talk.
There's nothing to say.
And there are some very adult lessons to be learned.
Why can't we be friends like before?
I wasn't pregnant before.
Degrassi Junior High, right after Kate and Allie over most stations. Best on the Box, Monday on CBC Television.
Rob DeMaio of Canada and Chris Miller of the United States named as players of the game as the two teams exchange handshakes. And Dave Chambers, the head coach of Team Canada, is standing by now and ready to chat with Jerry Fogarty of CBC Radio. And I'm sure he is a much relieved Dave Chambers as a result of this 5-4 victory, a victory that must have made him a little nervous in the final stages of the period when it looked as though the Canadian team was home free after just 40 minutes. So Dave Chambers has moved into position with Jerry Fogarty as the two teams leave the ice. Let's go down there now.
Well, Dave Chambers, how many years did you age during the last 20 or 30 minutes?
Well, obviously, the way we were playing, they scored the 2 power play goals against us to make it 5-4. We wanted to come out in the third period and prevent them from scoring on that first power play, but they scored within 12 seconds to narrow the gap and give them the life, and then they scored another power play. When we were full strength, we were doing fine, but we were very fortunate near the end there.
Did you win? We're playing only one period, Dave?
Well, we certainly going to have to play much better tomorrow night against the Soviets. There's no question about that. We played a good second period, and I think that's a pretty good analysis of what happened. We worked and played hard in the second, and we let down. We weren't working the corners as well. But you know, the basic thing is we won the game, but now we got to regroup, and we can't say we played great. We've got to go back into that dressing room and play it much harder for tomorrow.
You got to come up with your best game of the tournament tomorrow.
We're going to have to play much better than we did today, and I guess we'll have to sort that out. We'll have a team meeting and see if we can get the intensity back in there. But we were fortunate, and as I say, we wanted to come out and dominate the third period. Didn't happen.
Well, any changes? Rob Brown was nursing an injury. How's he?
Yeah, Rob, he's got a couple of injuries, so we're not sure about him for tomorrow. But, you know, we'd like to go with the 4 lines, but we may have to come back to 3 tomorrow. So we'll have to see how our injuries are. And, of course, the Soviets are playing very well undefeated, and we're in their rink, so it's going to have to be a big effort tomorrow.
There'll be many watching him back in Canada. Thank you, Dave Chambers. Now back to Don and Sherry.
Well, Team Canada has been guilty, I think, in all of the games in the tournament of having let down, something they will not be able to afford against the Soviets tomorrow in what amounts to the gold medal games.
You know, it's Casey Stengel said it, and everybody else uses it. It ain't over till it's over. And you said it right on the head of the nail. They have not played, at least we haven't seen it, 3 full periods of hockey. Make no mistake about it. They came here for the goal. They came to win it. Their major obstacle is tomorrow. Chambers said they're playing at home. They're a good hockey team, too, the Soviets. 2 periods of hockey isn't going to win that thing tomorrow. So it's very simple, and you said it. Their inconsistency has been a factor. They are literally 2 different hockey teams in the same game. One period, you see a hockey team that you figure is going to blow them out. You and I are talking, and I said it mostly that, hey, this game is over. It was far from over, as we found out. They do that tomorrow, it could be over early.
Well, it was a 5-4 victory, and that's a relieved group of Canadian players in that Team Canada dressing room, but not quite the jubilation one would expect. They know they were in a hard-fought battle, and they'll have an even tougher contest tomorrow when they take on a very strong Soviet national team. So for Team Canada, the task is obvious. Team USA has been defeated. Team Soviet remains. And as the Canadian team rips that USA name tag off the scoreboard, the task at hand now is the Soviets tomorrow. We'll have live coverage of that game tomorrow on the full CBC network. From Moscow, I'm Don Whitman. Happy New Year, everybody. The World Junior Hockey Championships from Moscow. Brought to you by Esso, suppliers of Esso No Trouble gasoline for winter. And by Labatt, proud to bring the parents of Canadian Olympic athletes together.
due to a special volume.